All right, we are live, hopefully without any issues. I just sent out the notification tweet. Hello, Tyler.
Welcome to the pre-show for
Oh,
the
shit.
PC Gaming Show. I am Frankie Ward here in my watch party spot in London.
Well, here we'll keep that muted just for now. Don't care for much of the pre-show stuff. Tyler, I just want to say thank you, dude, for being here. Like for almost every stream, I really appreciate that. It's nice that you come by and say hello and interact and stuff. Okay, so a couple things before we get started here. And first of all, I restarted my modem, so hopefully all those internet issues that we were kind of running into with the Xbox showcase don't happen. So far, it hasn't crapped out since I finished that stream. However, you never know. It could just be one of those random events where perhaps all the bandwidth from me streaming, is causing it to stutter or whatever. So it could be that. Not sure, but I'm hoping that it doesn't happen. But I'll take care of it. I'll see what I can do. Just in case. But anyway, I also wanted to talk about briefly because we got some more information as the stream for the Xbox ended, so I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. Oh, hold on for a second. Streaming now. Oh, you already pre-ordered Life is Strange Double Exposure. I'm beyond excited right now. Awesome. Yeah, that's I'm actually playing through Life is Strange 2 right now. So I played the other Life is Strange games because I only played the first one, and I was a bit disappointed that they decided to go in the direction of not continuing Max's storyline. So that's why I didn't play the other games for like the longest time, but I finally decided to jump into them. I actually played True Colors a couple weeks ago and enjoyed it. And I'm playing through right now, and I actually should beat it today, Life is Strange 2. Not into that, to be honest. Life is Strange 2 to me is a bit disappointing. I just feel like it's tonally on a completely different wavelength than the other Life is Strange games. It just seems weirdly disconnected. I think the story at times seems very forced. So I'm not so I don't care so much for Life is Strange 2 right now at the moment, but I haven't beat it yet, so maybe it gets better in the later episodes. Anyway, I wanted to bring up here before this show actually gets started because there are some more details that came up during the after the Xbox showcase. So first of all, they announced these consoles, right? The digital Xbox Series X, excuse me, and then an upgrade to the 1 TB or the 512 gigabyte Xbox Series X. There's now going to be a 1 TB version in white, and then there's this new 2 TB Series X. Now, first of all, I love the design of the special edition Series X in Galaxy Black. I love the little touches with the dots and the green accents. I think this looks phenomenal. And having a 2 TB SSD is great. It's still a Series X at the end of the day. It's not like an Xbox One S situation where it's got like special upscaling, it's got HDR, and then it's got a little bit of extra performance. It's still a Series X at the end of the day. So, I'm not going to pick it up, but I've just got to say that I love this design. I think it's phenomenal. A little bit sleeker, and it's just a nice little touch. And then they had the green little round thing down there, the base. Now the thing is though, Look at this. So here's the actual screenshot of what it looks like in real life, right? Looks pretty cool. It looks almost like the dots are fluorescent, so that in night maybe they glow. I don't know. It's a bit weird, but I kind of really like just the way it looks in this image. It looks really cool. The other thing though is this. Here are the prices for the new systems. So the 1 terabyte Series S is just going up $50, which is fine, 350. Then you have the 1 terabyte Series X Digital Edition, which is 450. This to me makes zero fucking sense. Why would you not just spend an extra $50 to get a console that has a disc tray, and you have a 4K Blu-ray player, you have a freaking we have backwards compatibility for all these other games, like on the secondhand market you might want to pick up for the Xbox and the 360 and all that stuff. Excuse me. So why would you not just spend the extra 50? Like, this is what Sony did with the PS5 digital edition, is they increased the price, and it just makes zero sense. Why would you not just spend the extra $50? Even if you're not, you don't care about physical media at all, you just get more value for your money. And the thing is, it doesn't take up any more, space. It's the same size. It's not like they shrunk the console down. It's the same size. So that just makes zero sense to me. But they kind of screwed themselves with this situation, because if they priced it at $400, why would you not just spend the extra $50 from the Series S to go to the X to get a much better performant console? So they kind of screwed themselves over. This is why the pricing structure this generation is just so messed up. And then the 2 terabyte Galaxy Special Edition is going to be $600, which kind of makes sense because you're getting that extra terabyte, right? And it's a limited edition. I'm sure it's not going to be sold. It's probably going to be. This reminds me of the 2 terabyte launch edition for the Xbox One S, which I have. Where if you didn't pick it up within the first 2 months of when the console came out, you basically missed out, and they stopped producing those. So that's what this kind of leads me to believe, is that they're going to have this special Galaxy version that's going to be like the launch version, and then they're probably just going to have it be a normal black. I don't know. I just feel like the pricing structure is so messed up. And look, even you can right now get a Series X 1 terabyte, right, from Best Buy for $400, $400 right now on sale. So, and even if you wanted the extra terabyte storage space, you can just get the terabyte memory card, the extension, and you can still spend less than what the Galaxy Special Edition would be for this price. And again, it's $50 less than the 1 terabyte version that's a digital for the Series X. The pricing structure makes no sense to me, you know? It's just weird. And it might have made sense if they completely changed the design of the console. This is why the Xbox One digital edition didn't make any sense to me, because they literally just they took out the disc tray, and then all that was sitting in that space was nothing. It was just empty plastic that they could have just cut the Xbox One S digital edition in half and had a much sleeker design console. Imagine with the Series X digital edition here, imagine if it was half the size. Imagine you just cut it in half, and you just got this cube or something. Or even we saw that leak where they were supposed to have this cylindrical design for the Series X, and it was going to be digital edition. I don't know. Something else that would have just said, that would have communicated across that, hey, this isn't just wasted plastic here. You're getting a much smaller console. I just feel like it's a missed opportunity, and they did the exact same thing last generation with the One S. I am happy though. I am very happy that even though they're doing this, you can see that they're still selling the disc tray. But the question is how long is the disc tray, this special 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Edition, how long is that going to be available on the market? Because they're calling it a special edition, which leads me to believe that it's limited. They're only going to produce so much. So how long is that going to be on the market? By this time next year, are your only options going to be a digital Series X or a digital, or the Series S has always been digital? Are those going to be your only two options? So this might, be them preparing us in the future And Microsoft has already kind of been going this route for a long time, where they've been trying to get rid of discs, and we've seen that. And I know personally, when I walk in to buy games on Xbox and I do those unboxings for you guys, I have been told countless times again by the people who work at my game store, oh, this is the only copy that we have for Xbox. And it's because people on Xbox have been trained so much to just wait for Game Pass and subscribe to Game Pass, that the hardcore like market, like no one's buying physical media on Xbox. Game Pass has become basically the de facto platform for how people play and consume their games on the Xbox consoles. And so that's completely obliterated the disc-based market, the physical market for the Xbox brand specifically. And I realized, like, when I go to pick up any game, any third-party game on for the Xbox system, and I do an unboxing for you guys, my store always has like one copy left, maybe two at the most. And it's just one of those things where it's not like a focus for the consumers. They don't care about going to pick up these physical games. So this might be them sort of telling, they're kind of easing you into the future, saying, yeah, we're taking away the disc tray, but you guys don't buy physical media anyway. And I've said this before, but if the next Xbox goes all digital, let's say that the next generation Xbox system is only a digital machine, I'm not buying it. I've already told myself that, and I've kind of went back and forth, and I've came to the conclusion that if Xbox goes all digital next generation, I'm just going to go build another computer, and that's where I'll play all my Xbox games from now on. Because to me, the issue isn't the lack of having physical media. Like a lot of people think that digital is like the enemy of game preservation, and that's not the case. I think that choice is very important. However you want to consume your games, you want to buy them digitally, you want to buy them on disc, that's great. The problem with these consoles going all digital is that it's a closed market. So single-handedly, the only way for you to get games on your Xbox console is through the Microsoft Store, which means that you are at the mercy of these corporations to basically delegate any deals or discounts. They control the pricing structure. And you might say, well, on PC, it's the same way. But no, on PC, you have different platforms and you have key shops. You can get your games from anywhere on PC. I can go right now on like CD Keys or GOG or any other of these platforms and buy keys and get them on get games on certain storefronts that way. I don't have to go buy my games from Steam. I don't have to go buy Xbox games from the Microsoft Store. And I think that that's the bigger issue for me personally. When I look at like a digital console, I there's only control that I see, And I know there's rumors that Microsoft may allow other storefronts on there, but how's that going to work? Like if they have a Steam app on the Xbox, how's that going to work at all? And it's still like those apps would need to have partnerships with Microsoft, so they're not just going to let any random site or platform put their app on the console. It's not going to work like that. So this is the biggest issue, I feel, with the digital age of consoles specifically, because at least on PC, although it's digital, you have a choice, and that allows for competition. There's no competition with the Xbox storefronts. You buy your games on the Microsoft Store, the marketplace, whatever you want to call it, and that's it. You have no other option. Yeah, you can buy a digital code. You can go to like the store and get some, digital version of a game. You got those little cards, those pamphlets, but those are also controlled by the publishing companies. Those don't go on sale. So that's just an issue I wanted to bring out. Also, the other thing you mentioned, Life is Strange, Hamster. We now have direct confirmation that Microsoft is changing the fucking box art yet again. This is the 5th or 6th time that the box art for Series X, specifically those games, have changed. So this is the box art, and you can see that they took out the little it's like, whatever that badge was. So the Series X thing didn't used to be over here. It used to have been over here, and it usually was covered by like a white badge. So they now took away that portion of the box art. You now have this little Xbox symbol here, and now they're putting Series X in the top corner. And now we know this isn't just placeholder because this is Call of Duty's box art. See, so now they did they move it because it would have covered the guy's the guy's head here? Because if they had that badge going across, I mean, they just changed it yet again. I just thought that was so funny. Like, if I go to GameStop, right? This is like literally the sixth time they've changed the box art for the Series X, and it just, as someone who wants all their games nicely displayed on the shelf, it just like gives me, it doesn't do well to my OCD. Yeah, here's how the box art used to look, right? I don't think I can make this bigger. Oh, there we go. So here's how it used to look, right? You have this little white badge here, and you have your other badges here on the other side about Series X, Smart Delivery, it would say HDR, whatever. And now it's moving from this to this. It's just strange. Again, it's like the fifth change that they made to the box art. They can't just nail down one design. At least with the PS5, although it's boring and it's exactly the same as the PS4 except it's white, at least they're all lined up correctly on the shelf. I just feel like, God, the Xbox One changes so much over the course of this generation so far. This is like the fifth time they've done it. So I just wanted to point that out because I started noticing it. I thought it was a placeholder because the first game I noticed it for was Alan Wake 2, the physical edition. I was like, oh, the box art looks like it got changed, but maybe it's just a placeholder. Nope, that's going to be the box art going forward for all these games coming out in the holiday. Very, very, very strange. So is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. It looks a bit weird. Now you just have the Xbox symbol up there. It just looks strange to me. I like this design, the redo of this design. I thought this looked great. I was like, oh, awesome. It doesn't look like the Xbox One case. And now it's like they're changing it to this, and I just don't see the point. Anyway, so that's what I just wanted to bring up. Close all these tabs now. I just noticed those things after the conference went live, but it was a great conference. They did a great job.
On release, like I was getting 20 frames per second when I played, but it was so compelling. It breaks like
so there was my rant before the PC gaming show.
Away from that build a base and defend things at night into a battle royale and becomes the #1 game in the world. And I think that it was so impactful because it was like watching the birth of a new genre. People that did not play shooter games like
oh, I did. Sorry, I'm catching up on the comments. Yeah, Hamster, I did play Before the Storm, which I really did enjoy. It's just Life is Strange 2 to me is just weird. Like the beginning of that game when I was playing it and the cop pulls his gun on children, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I literally did that while I was watching my screen. I was like, what is this? And I see what they're going for. They're trying to showcase, like racism and a bit of police brutality. Like, they're really hitting hard on those themes. It just was a shock to me because the other Life is Strange 1 and True Colors don't even go anywhere near that. Like, they have their own themes, but it still feels inherently like Life is Strange to me. Like it's a hipster game. But Life is Strange 2 is just, it just feels like a different guy worked on this game who had a very, he wanted to tell a very specific story, and it just feels completely disconnected from the other ones. I also think it's weird how you don't play as the person with the powers, Your brother has the powers. It's your second unfavorite, probably. But yeah, I mean, the first one's still my favorite, I have to say. Before the Storm, I really enjoyed. I thought True Colors was good. And I'm looking forward to the new one. By the way, I cannot believe that Sean here is still hosting the PC Gaming Show. He's been doing it since the first one.
Trailers, exclusives, and lots of surprises, but here is what I'm most excited about. Joining me once again,
a new cat game is coming. Only Way is Down. Stuck on a high construction site in a big city, so the cat has to get down, really. The cat games are popular thanks to Stray. They also had that new game, is it Little Kitty Big City? Some type of indie game that people are kind of playing.
All of the incredible games during that time. That's pretty impressive.
We've had a good run. 10 years is a long time, and if this show is a child...
Oh, it's their 10th anniversary, yeah. So I went to the very first one, and the first PC gaming show that I went to in person, I got to play a canceled game, which was called Fable Legends. So that was interesting back in the day.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It was a good venue. You know, they had a bar there. They had some snacks. Yeah, they showed Deus Ex, which I was very happy about. I think I recorded myself seeing that for the first time, and they had the developers out there. Yeah, it was cool. Honestly, Life is Strange games from Don't Know is my least favorite overall. Yeah, so explain this to me. Deck 9, who are the devs behind, did they do The Surge? So are they now in full control of the Life is Strange franchise? Because Don't Nod, they put out Banishers. I guess they're doing smaller games as well still, but I think it's weird how they kind of license that franchise out to other devs. The Surge is totally different? Okay, then I'm thinking of someone else. Who did The Surge?
The PC Gaming Show 1350, a personal favorite of mine. Now, for fans of sticks and pebbles, prepare to lose.
I'm looking on Deck 9's website. Games. Oh, they only did Life is Strange. And The Expanse, the Telltale. Okay. Why did I think it was The Surge? Who did The Surge?
Sean, you know some of those things didn't...
Deck 13.
Oh, of course, Mika. I know. I'm not an idiot. Moon landing, sure.
I'm not going to blame myself for that one. Come on. Deck 13, Deck 9. What are these names? What do they mean?
It's none other than Frankie Ward.
Thank you so much, Mika.
No wonder I was confused.
Again. And to celebrate 10 years, I even got us a little cake.
I thought that was so weird. I was like, oh, Deck 9. What, making a Surge and now they're making Life is Strange? That's a weird transition. Like, yeah.
Well, in a second, but
No wonder.
Riddle me this. Why aren't you, like, here with us?
Well, I'm kind of expecting a pretty special delivery.
Oh, I get you. Big Amazon orders.
Yeah,
Can't miss those. Sometimes you
Oh,
have
she's
time.
pregnant.
Something a little more important. I'll be here with my unborn mind.
I really hope this show is in 2 hours and 30 minutes. I actually want to know how long my last year's stream was.
Also, why are you standing there like a couple of lemons anyway?
Because it was
You should
just
take a page from my book and
way
take
too
the load off.
much. And then they waste like 30 minutes doing this. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah, I was right. Was last year's stream.
I mean, this is way better.
Yeah, thank you, Frankie. And you know what? Thank you, chair scientists everywhere.
I'm glad you're both comfortable because we've got a great show today. Trailers to the most exciting upcoming PC games, exclusive world premiere announcements of brand new games.
Yeah, Microsoft
and
did really
behind-the-scenes
good this
look
year.
of upcoming
I'm happy
releases
for them.
And lots more.
But first,
I do have some complaints, obviously. Lack of release dates. Some games I did want to see that were kind of a no-show, but almost everything that they did have was just an interesting, you know, it looked like something you wanted to play. So I'm happy that they did. I'm happy that they did well this year. They really needed to. Hey, Lloyd. Thanks for being here yet again, and you as well, Hamster. I was just telling Tyler I really appreciate you guys coming to all the streams and sticking with me. It's an exciting time, man. I love this time of year, even though things are so different now. There's very little hype. You know exactly what's coming. I like to see the industry get together and, celebrate some new interesting ideas and, just games and stuff like that. It's just... I wish it was a bit different how it used to be, but hey, at least we have it still. Anyway, this looks interesting. Gears of War prequel was unexpected. Yeah, so I saw on Twitter, it's a prequel set 14 years earlier, and they're saying that they still plan to do. They're not abandoning the story that they set up in Gears 4 and 5, but they really wanted to do this game, which is fine to me. Honestly, I think that it's a great way of kind of getting people back into Gears. You know, is to do a prequel set with those characters again. I guess we won't see what's his name? The other two. It's going to be Dom and Marcus probably for the vast majority, and maybe like the general character. Because it's interesting because the first Gears of War starts with Dom being broken out of prison. Or I'm sorry, Marcus being broken out of prison by Dom. And they kind of like, everyone kind of knows Marcus as like, you know, he's sort of like the guy who like did a lot of bad things, but in order to get the job done. So it's gonna be interesting to have that sort of backstory, I feel like, for that character, and it's gonna make a lot of people happy. And if they do it right and they do it really well, yeah, I think it's gonna do fantastic. You prefer a prequel over Gears 6? I don't like the story that they went through. I Gears of War 4 to me felt like just them trying to retcon, and they like chose the lamest excuse to bring back the Locust, and it was not interesting to me, and I didn't like the characters at all. I liked Gears 5 for the gameplay though. Gears 5 opened it up and allowed exploration, and I always felt that Kate was that her name, Kate? I always felt like she was the best character out of the new dweebs, or whatever you want to call them. Like, I didn't like Marcus's son at all. But yeah, I enjoyed the direction, because Gears 5, excuse me, ended like, it felt like they like had one more act to show. In fact, there's only 4 acts, meaning that it's the only Gears of War without a 5th act. And I was really expecting at the end of Gears 5, you could have like played as Dom and then like just raced after the big baddie, I forgot her name, the main villain, and just like, I was just expecting there to be a little bit more there. It just sort of ended. Kate is her name, yeah. What is my favorite Gears of War? The first one's so transformative for its time. Like, when it first came out, you never saw visuals like that before. And it was really, I think, responsible for just setting a good baseline for how a third-person cover shooter should play. It's a very important game for the industry. I remember Gears 2 most fondly, so I'd probably have to say Gears 2. But I need to play those. Like, I remember Gears 5, or Gears, there's so many Gears. I remember the first Gears of War decently well. Don't remember the second one, or the third one. I remember how the third one ended. I need to play those games again.
What about me?
Yeah, Gears 5 was great gameplay-wise. Story was so-so. I think that the next installment story gets worse and worse. Writing itself gets annoyed since the second game. Yeah. You know, it's just, again, I just felt like they could have came up with a better excuse to bring these characters back in Warfare, and the fact that they just went with a mutated Locust plotline was so just, it was so uninspiring to me.
Of me getting to brew my
How much you're trying with those set, yeah. Gears of War should be like you could do like sad brutal stuff. I think a good way to like add emotion to a game that's all about like, you know, violence and gore is like, look how Santa Monica did it with God of War, you know. Because God of War doesn't really have sad scenes, but they're emotional scenes, and you get deeper elements to the character. And I just feel like the way that they added that elements to Kratos, they did it without destroying the core of what that character was or changing up the tone of everything. They kept the brutality, you know, and like, he still had some angry elements, but it was different. It was about character growth. I felt like if they did something similar to the characters in Gears, that's how they can kind of get away with it. But you know, you need skilled writers, and yeah, I just feel like the writing team definitely has been the weakest portion of those new Gears games. Anyway, I hope they do it right and really well with the prequel. I think it's a smart choice. And, you know, it was a CGI trailer that we saw, but I'm sure it's going to be really good. So I am looking forward to it. Yeah, exactly, hamster. Anyway, I feel like I have not been paying attention to a single thing at this showcase so far. I apologize. Streets of Rogue.
I think it's time, Red.
I told you, my name is Ringo.
So yeah, I should beat Life is Strange 2 today. I've actually been playing as well No More Heroes 3 on the Nintendo Switch. I'm trying to like slowly work through my Switch backlog because we're at the end of the console's life cycle. You know, we have the next Nintendo system dropping next year, so I'm trying to get through the games that are on my backlog for the Switch. So I have No More Heroes 3, which I'm about halfway through almost right now. And I played the first No More Heroes, and I liked it. It was a good game. This one's good too. It's kind of fun. It's quirky. It's got the character and charm of No More Heroes. Performance could be a bit better. It's a bit rough looking on the Switch. I'm playing it only in portable mode because I have that Switch Lite, and it looks fine there. But even then, you could definitely see some performance issues. So I think they bit off a bit more than they could chew. But visually, like, they have cutscenes in the game that are kind of like this, what we're watching here. Fully animated, and they just look fantastic. I think 2D games are now the best thing ever. Wait, I think 2D games now are the best they've ever been. We don't see AAA doing 2D games anymore.
PC gaming show.
Maybe a few, but indie masters at it. Yeah, you don't really see a lot. And I would say 2.5D. A lot of them are sort of like that. You know, we didn't get to see an update on Replaced, which was also announced at the Xbox showcase, and that has like a pixel 2.5D art to it, and apparently that was playable at whatever sort of convention or whatever they have going on here for the Summer Games Fest. And yeah, they didn't talk, like, no, maybe we'll see it here, but that's a game that I was really looking forward to. I just really want, in my heart, I really want that game, The Last Night, to be revived and to actually come back. I heard one thing that it was still being worked on, but it's been so long, and I don't know. Because that game was something truly special. And didn't the director get in trouble? He, like, said something on his personal Twitter account or something, and I thought the publishing company abandoned him. Something happened about, it was like some type of drama. But that game looked phenomenal, and I just really wish that we would see it again. But Replaced was like close enough. It was different, but, you know, somewhat close. It's always the most interesting games that get the axe, you know? And it sucks because you have like these games that are kind of cookie cutter come out and they look the same as everything else, but then the truly interesting, unique concepts get fucking destroyed, like Prey 2
You were looking for answers.
and The Last Night.
For you, these centuries would have passed in an instant.
This looks interesting. Anyway, I just hate that that happens.
I once served your father. I helped him lay the groundwork for everything you see here.
It's like a stealth game.
I am Savi.
Stealth action.
Welcome, Zoe.
That's interesting. I also see, you know, again, I will continue to say that I see a lack of games in the shooter genre. It seems like a lot of developers are going towards platformers or hack and slash type games. The shooter genre seems to be kind of becoming dry. Probably a good thing, to be honest. You know? I like shooters, you know, but this looks like 13, like a style similar to like 13. But yeah, it's probably a good thing because it allows for more interesting gameplay, but I just noticed that as of late, you know, there seems to be less and less shooters around. Yeah, this is cool. It kind of like reminds me of 13 with a more action-focused melee combat. Huh. The Last Night is still in development as subscribed to its creator, and he is still making reports about progress on Discord. Well, that's good. It's one guy, right? So I just hope that it actually does come out. You know? Because it really looked incredible.
So, how about you, big fella? Are you ready to get your knuckles bloody with fallen aces?
Well, Mika,
Rogue Mansion, third-person horror game set in a mansion that is procedurally generated. Oh, inspired by classic Resident Evil made by indie devs.
Recognize our next
Send me
game,
pics.
Stormgate, a real-time strategy game.
Haven't heard of
It's
that
giving off
one.
Some big StarCraft vibes, which is not surprising since it's being made by a team of former StarCraft developers. And hey, Sean,
yeah.
you've played StarCraft like an hour or two, right?
Oh, yes, Mika. I've played maybe even 3 hours. I even
What?
dipped a toe in a little bit.
Crazy.
But now for all you RTS fans out there, heads up.
Tim
because with
Storet
Stormgate,
is his
we've
name.
got a lot
Okay.
more than just a trailer. We visited the developer Frost Giant.
Yeah,
Studios
I hope
for a
he,
closer look at their new RTS.
it's one of those
So fans like
situations
going,
where,
pick up your gaming chair and stay hydrated.
this is why
Prepare
these
to do
companies
battle
just
in Stormgate.
don't understand the way the internet works, I swear. Like, they're so afraid of offending people, because I don't think anybody knew what he did. Because I don't even know what he did, you know, but I just know there was drama surrounding it because didn't the publishing company like force him to like apologize to people?
The Celestials fight unlike
There was something surrounding that situation where he had to like say it in like, you know, interviews and shit like that, and it's like no one's paying attention to this shit. Oh, his last post was from the May 23rd. Okay, well at least it's, you know, not sitting there dead in the water.
and enhance their abilities.
Summer Games Fest had some good moments, but was not great. Maybe Gamescom 2024 will step it up. Some stuff got held back. Yeah, Games Fest was meh. There was like 2 things in there that looked interesting.
Just getting started.
Everything else just seemed to me like it was just stuff that we already knew, you know? So, yeah, I think, well, hopefully, I think this year's just already fucked up. This year's just, it needs to go. You know, we got 20,000 people who lost their job already, and the year's like barely we're halfway through it, you know, just about. So we're just waiting till next year, where we can hopefully just move past this, and the industry is in a much better place, the economy is in a much better place. Just everything. You know, we need some time to heal.
With each faction that we develop,
he changed his worldviews after so many years and openly talked.
Adaptability.
Your comments, sorry, is being blocked by.
We really explored the idea of a unit-focused faction that could have a different way of summoning
Fucking
their troops into the battlefield. With the
I have the
really wanted to
the little you know, emote drop thing, and it's blocking the last year comment. Hold on.
A faction that introduces map-wide
openly
mobility.
Oh, you're saying
They
told,
are
but talked
anchored
about
by
it. Yeah.
This idea that they're descending into the atmosphere.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where, like,
celestial
I don't even
armada.
think if,
So when you're
unless you were
playing
very,
as
like,
this
paying
faction
attention to
and
that
can
shit,
build
like, you wouldn't have
structures
seen
all
it,
across the
you
map
know?
in different places very easily. In many ways, it becomes this.
Like, cause I didn't know what he was
strategic
saying.
dance
I don't
about
follow a lot of
what's playing
creators
out now.
anymore.
So we've kind of
And
shifted
you
the
know what? I
focus
don't
onto
want
the
to.
themselves. there's going to be a
You know,
lot
it's
of
just
emergent
like-
gameplay that players
I
will discover
truly
on
believe
their
that you
own
can
that we
separate
are
the
not
art from the
planning
artist,
for.
even though I
And
have great
that's
respect
actually
for
what we
these
want from
people.
the Celestials.
But,
We
you know,
want
they're
players
human
to have a bunch
beings.
of options, a bunch of
They're
flexibility,
gonna
a bunch
say
of
shit.
interesting
You're
toys
not
to
always
play
going to agree
and
with the
then
shit
see
that
what
they
comes out the
say,
other
you
side.
know,
If
and
you're
it's
the
just,
type
I
of
just want to
player
play games
that
and have a good
really
time.
likes
I don't
coming
think
up
that
with
there's
this
anything
innovative
wrong
way
with
to
that.
outsmart opponents,
You know,
the
it's like the
Celestial
shit with
faction is
Hogwarts
designed
Legacy.
for you.
You know,
With Celestials, we've
and people are trying to like
really
cancel that
done
game and shit, and
something
it's just
that
like, but
is
the
pure
game looks
original
really
thinking
good.
from
There's
this
people
team that
who are
is
hard at
not
work, you
something
know,
that we've seen
on
before in
this,
a real-time
who just
strategy.
want to make a
And
great game and
it
just
took a
want you to
lot of
enjoy the thing that they're
iteration to
creating.
get to the
And I
point
get
that
that
it
people
felt
have issues
balanced and
with
where it
with
felt
the
correctly
creator or
comparable
what's,
to the
you know,
other two
people's
races.
personal opinions are, but
Stormgate is a
if you
Blizzard-style RPG.
separate, if
So
you just
by
canceled like
saying that we're continuing the
if you
legacy
if you
of
took
Warcraft and
everyone,
StarCraft, we're really
whoever
looking
said
at
anything that was
core
offensive
experience.
or
But we
anything that was
really
terrible,
believe that
and you
even
canceled
within
them for that, then
RTS,
everyone in the fucking
there's a
world would be
lot of room
canceled.
to innovate, and
You
there's
know?
a lot of creative boundaries that can be pushed to bring new styles of play and new experiences for players. And so we
Remember
are really
Phil
excited
Fish,
about bringing
creator
a
of
lot
Fez?
new ideas into the genre
The dude was
that we
a
want
jackass,
to
was an
have this
asshole,
asymmetric
but that doesn't
experience
make Fez
where playing
a
one
terrible
faction
game.
or another faction
You know, Fez was
really
very
feels almost like a
transformative
different
for
game
its time
entirely.
and deserved all the
Our
praise that it got.
technology
It was a
runs,
great
at a
game.
higher tick rate than any
The creator's an
refresh
asshole,
game
though.
that's ever come before. In
You
a
know?
nutshell, essentially what that means is, as a player, the
I don't know.
time
I just
between
want to
clicking and
enjoy. I
seeing
just
your
think there's
actions
nothing
take
wrong
place
with just
is
playing
faster
games,
than any other
having a
RTS game
good
that's really
time,
ever come out. As a
and
player, it
these
just
days I don't
feels
want to know too
really,
much.
really good to play.
You know,
One
and
of
people
the
are very
biggest design
egotistical.
challenges that we faced with Stormgate is creating a game that maintains the high skill gameplay that
And I
has
get that people
been
get
the
into
heart
it.
of
You know, you
RTS
really
for
get
so
into the
long,
industry,
but
you
still
get into the art
provides
form,
an
and you want to know
for
more
new
about
players
it, and you're very
coming in
passionate
that
about it, and
doesn't
so am I, and
scare
so
them
are all
away.
of you
It's okay
guys.
to be a high skill game.
But
it's actually a good and appealing thing. We never want
you know, when it
to
gets to the
water
point where you're
down
thinking
that
more about the
aspect
creator
of
than the
RTS,
game that you're
but
playing
we
right in
talk a
front of
lot
you,
about
then I think that
lowering
that's
the
a
skill
personal
floor,
issue.
which means
It
making
just
it more
is.
approachable for new players coming in without taking away the high skill elements of the
You
game.
know,
that
like
make
and it's
RTS
not just games too. It's films as
Early
well.
access
Like
is
I think
much
Ridley
more
Scott
about
is one of
bringing
the most
community along with us and
opinionated
benefiting from that
kind of
feedback
jerks right
that
now in the
community
film
provides
industry.
us to
Like
really
he's
make the
a
game
phenomenal
what
creator,
they
a
tell us
genius.
they want.
You know,
We've been having
absolutely, and
conversations
created
with
some of the most
community,
well-known,
and
respected franchises. But
together,
every
hopefully,
single
we
time he
really
goes
are able
in front of a
to
microphone and he
have something
talks,
that feels
he's
collaborative.
always shitting on everyone
We're
else.
sharing it at a much earlier stage
You know?
than any game that we've worked on
And
in the
it's
past.
like,
but it is a better way to make games. I believe
it doesn't mean that, you know,
as
Alien
it
is a terrible
evolves, will
film.
turn into something that is
I mean, I saw
literally the best game that we've ever worked on as a result.
what was the movie
We
that he
hope
just
you've
put out
enjoyed
last year?
this exclusive first look at our Celestial faction.
The fucking
Stormgate's free to play.
the
It's
French
available
movie.
to
What was
everyone.
what did he
We'll
put
be
out?
launching
Napoleon.
full early access
I saw
on August
Napoleon
13th.
last year.
But you can join
Napoleon
us
was fine.
on July 30th
It was
by
paced,
going to Steam
you know,
and picking
a little
up
bit
one of
poorly.
our
I felt like it was a
that's
little bit
available
long, but it
today.
was a well-made movie. You know, but I don't necessarily care for Ridley Scott telling everyone. You know, it's like James Cameron's kind of the same way too.
If you're excited for RTS Madness,
When Avatar 2 was coming out, James Cameron's like, "Oh, don't worry if you have to go to the bathroom. You'll see the part that you miss when you see the movie the second time."
Solid logic, Frank.
You know?
Why are you telling me this now?
I don't know. I just do my best to not get too involved in the creative process.
No spoons, nothing to wash later.
At least
Get it?
get too involved deeply
Here's
with
another
people
example. Let's
who are
say
part of the
someone
creative
knocks on my door
process.
during the
I'm a fan of studios,
A regular
but
person
when
will
you
get up
become a
and
fan
answer
of
the
like
door
creators and then
I just held this brick through my front
they bring their
window.
personal
Whoever
opinions
was
into
knocking
stuff,
goes away and
yeah,
tells.
it's distracting, but
Bricks. They're like spoons you can throw.
I still think that you should be able to enjoy their game.
Get you, Frankie. A window brick sounds totally overpowered.
Anyway, it's a completely different rant, but
My point is this. It's
just
a
thought
really
about that at the moment.
exciting time
Kingdom
to
Come
strategy
Deliverance
games
is the
on
same
PC, and
story.
we've got
Dan
so many
Vavra
more
is
to
a very
show you
impulsive
today.
guy to the point where he
Starting
dropped
right
development of
now.
Mafia 2 in 2009,
All
but
you
people
Thursdays
still liked
packets
him
fanatics
despite
out there do not
despite
want
it
to
being
miss this next one.
overreactive. See, I didn't even hear about that. And Kingdom Come Deliverance is a phenomenal. So is Mafia 2. Is a phenomenal game. You know, like it's just that's the thing, dude. Every single person person in the world, you know, is a human being with flaws, and sometimes they're gonna do stupid shit, sometimes they're gonna say stupid shit, and it's just not worth it, you know? Because the only person who, like, you want to take a stance and not play something or not invest in something, fine. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really change anything, you know? Not unless it's a significant movement. Like with Hogwarts Legacy, that just totally backfired because that became one of the best-selling games ever. But even if it didn't, do you really think J.K. Rowling would give a shit? You know? Let's say no one bought the game, like 0 sales. What would change about her life? Nothing. Not a damn thing. So you just gotta, you know... I just find that the best course of action is just to disconnect yourself slightly, you know? Still be interested in the creative process and all that. Disconnect yourself slightly, but... And just enjoy games at face value. Do you think that both the gaming industry and movie industry will both go through a huge revamp? Well, it's funny that they're kind of in the same space right now, gaming and films, where there's constant sequels, remakes, and reboots. Gaming's a bit healthier in that we have such a incredibly, you know, powerful and growing, you know, independent development scene like this. Movies have this, but it's not to the level of significance that games have it, and it's not easily accessible like games are. There's not like a digital storefront, you know, for films where you can just see all the latest independent, you know, published films out there and watch them that way. Unlike Steam, where you can just go on there and they have a whole category. They show you everything that's coming soon. You know, it's very easy to see what's coming. And film doesn't necessarily have that, but they are in a similar spot right now. I just feel that gaming's getting way too expensive. There's 2 problems. The film industry is just being creatively, like, oppressed, right? Because you have these big studios who don't want to spend a lot of money, invest in these ideas, and then they also just want to milk every franchise until it's absolutely dry. The game industry has an issue where things are so expensive and everyone's chasing after trends, hoping to make a quick buck. So they're 2 different problems, but they're kind of in a similar space because of those 2 different problems. I think gaming is too big to probably have a second crash, but we might see a bit of I wouldn't mind a bit of a reduction of AAA games and more of a focus on AA and indie for like a period of like, you know, 5, 7, maybe even 10 years, while the AAA industry kind of takes a step back and tries to nail the formula for how those games should be. Because it's just gotten too expensive, and every game has to be like, it feels like every AAA game is chasing after the 50+ hour gameplay mark, and the storytelling is getting significantly worse because of it. Mafia 2 is one of the biggest disappointments for me. Writing and side quest design is complete downgrade to the first game, or even remake failed to capture those details. So yeah, so you mentioned that the Mafia remake was also nowhere near as impactful or special as the first Mafia game, or there was missing elements entirely. So yeah, I would need to play the first Mafia game to see. But so that kind of makes sense though if Mafia 2 went through a similar sort of issue where it had like an original vision or original concept and probably got changed over the course of several years, because it was in development for a very long time, wasn't it? Mafia 1 is first game that made me cry when you were 13. Wow. Isn't there like an almost like 10-year gap though between Mafia 1 and Mafia 2? Like, isn't it like 8 or 9 years later they decided to do the sequel? So
and showcase some of the most exciting games of the past decade.
TV shows are the same. I mean, good ideas always get thrown away. Like my favorite show from childhood was Lego Ninjago. It's getting milked like crazy, and I wish the show would just be over already. You still watch them? I guess it's similar to like you have shows like One Piece, which people still love. But is there really an ending in sight for One Piece?
Hey PC gamers, my name is Dave and I'm the director of Mighty Yell, and if you know us,
8-year gap.
we like to make
Yeah.
things that are weird, uplifting, and fun. With those
Yeah,
things in
that's
mind, we cannot
well,
wait
I
to
mean,
show
there you go.
our
That explains
brand
it.
new expressive dance battle adventure, All Systems Dance. All Systems Dance takes the fun of freely dancing and moving through a space, combines it with some tense arena combat and a heartfelt and funny
Played
story,
Mafia 1 when I was 7.
all
In
the
2008,
name
rented it from a
of
rental
taking
store
down
called
evil
Family
corporations.
Video,
Look, we want
which
to
they
make a game
closed.
about
Yeah.
dance because, well,
There's a
we're not the
Blockbuster
greatest
or
dancers.
Hollywood
I'm not.
Video, one of
But
those down
that
the
doesn't
street
matter.
from my
The thing
house.
about dance is that everyone can dance, and if everyone can dance, and
You know what's
dance,
funny
we
is like
need to save the
Redbox
world,
is still
and
around,
maybe everyone can
which
sing.
I'm very surprised at.
I'm gonna
Like
let the
people,
teaser speak
it
for
must
itself.
be a lot
Please
of
go to
older people
allsystemsdance.com
who
for
still
more
go to
information.
Redbox and rent
Thank you
movies.
for watching this, for being a part of this with us, and remember, the revolution will not.
Because
be
again,
over.
like everything's gone streaming now. But you have to imagine that their main clientele is probably, you know, seniors, 70 plus.
Socialize and relax.
You stopped after season 11. Now it's 21. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. I think the worst offense to art was the multiverse theory. Ever since, I kind of blame Marvel for this, you know, but ever since they decided to do the whole multiverse and different universes, and it's the same character but these different outcomes, I feel like it's just been the slap in the face and middle finger to storytelling, because it basically means that they can do whatever they want whenever they want and there's no consequences, which to me is just, it's sad. Like, I think the new Deadpool movie is that with Wolverine. It's not the Wolverine from Logan. It's a different universe where Wolverine, you know, is kind of just a loser and hasn't been able to do anything right. And I'm sure Deadpool's going to be, you know, phenomenal for what it is. In fact, I'm going to go see it. Jacob's more excited for that than I am, but I'm going to go see it. But yeah, it's like the multiverse theory literally allows them to do whatever they want, however they want, and there's always an excuse. And I just think it's like, it's the worst thing that could have happened to storytelling, because now everyone's using it to do whatever they want. Is my dad interested in games? No. Well, I mean, like, he doesn't play games, but I would say his outlook on games is much more positive than when it was when I was growing up. I think when I was like 13, 14, 15, around the age I was starting to do YouTube, he probably looked at games as like a kid's thing. And when I was growing up in school, there was still very much that mentality that once you turned 18 or once you got out of high school and you became an adult, like, it'd be really sad if you were still playing games. I had friends who I would literally tell them, like, oh yeah, I wonder what the PlayStation 5 is gonna be, right? And this is like 2010. And I remember saying that to like one of my friends. And one of my friends was like, oh, you'd still be playing games by then? You know, and it's completely changed. At its core, you know, it's just entertainment, just like anything. And I had a friend also who almost gave up on gaming. He was telling me, yeah, I think it was the Xbox One, the end of that generation. So this is just only like several years ago. He said, yeah, I think this is probably the last game console I'm going to own. I'm pretty much just done with gaming. And so I asked him, I'm like, well, I said to him, why is it that with gaming specifically, we feel that we need to stop, or we need to make an excuse to not play them anymore? Like, why do we look at it differently from something like films or music? Because you would never say, oh yeah, I'm just done watching films. You would never say, I'm just done listening to music. But games get this specific, you know, bad rep for some reason. And he didn't really have an answer, and he ended up buying a Series X and PS5, you know, when those came out. So I guess, I don't know if my words did anything, but he changed his mind on that. This looks good, by the way. Single player. Yeah, it's, you know, it's just, the nice thing is that it's changing. I see a lot of people, it's so weird to me, but I see a lot of people who have parents who are big into games, and like they're teenagers. Oh god, this looks really creepy. This looks really creepy.
Atlas, do you copy? Respond, Atlas.
Phantom Line. That looked really creepy and good. Wonder if it's a single player type game. Anyway, yeah, it's always weird to me to see like teenagers have parents who like really play games because I grew up. I think I was probably the last age group, right, who grew up where there was very much that disconnect that parents didn't really play games, and like to my parents, like the arcade was like games to them, and they just don't understand it. And I have to say these days, my dad won't play games like himself, and neither will like my mom, but they have a more respect. Like they don't look at games like as kids things anymore, you know.
Now, for those of you who didn't know, the franchise
so I can like, you know, I've shown him stuff like the last game I showed him was the Matrix Awakens demo. Because he and I are big fans of like the Matrix, and I showed him that demo, and he was just floored the way it looked and stuff like that. So that was really cool.
To learn more, we visited those mad scientists at Tripwire Interactive for this exclusive look at the guns and gore of Killing Floor 3.
Gaming is the absolute best medium for storytelling. Like, you know, hands down. It's equipped to do all the cinematic storytelling of films without the limitations of its length, without the limitations of it needing to be done in camera. And unlike books, it can have the narrative complexity of books, but show it to you through director's intent exactly how it's supposed to be. Like, it's not left to your imagination. And I still think that there's a place for all those other mediums as well. But gaming is the absolute best medium for storytelling because it's basically storytelling without any limitations. The problem is that I think that gaming needs to mature to allow for more varied stories. Almost every single game that we're looking at here is an action-focused game. You know? We need to get to the point where games can have narratives that are like on a similar level to a lot of, you know, films. I don't know, like a rom-com or something like that, done in a video game. I guess you can kind of do that these days, but, you know, there's a specific genre for those types of stories. I just feel like the concept of gameplay, there's so much more to be done, and I don't know what that looks like, but, you know, it excites me. I think eventually it's going to get to the point where gaming is so massive, there's dozens and dozens of things releasing at any one time, and you're just going to have, you're not going to be able to keep up.
On from the beginning with
you know?
It was really about science gone wrong. And even like, look at this set.
Killing Floor 3.
Right? As a kid of the 80s and 90s, I just loved the Dark Horse Aliens and Predator comics. There were some elements in there about trying to create biological weapons set in a thematically dystopian themed world. So we wanted to tie that in.
The real question is, will there ever be another medium after
gaming?
gaming?
Is basically a group
I don't know.
Well-trained badasses.
What are we missing here? We have interactivity.
Every single grenade,
we have cinematography.
Weapon to handle the things that they're.
We have sound.
These kind of insurmountable odds. Those,
you know, you got the storytelling.
Motivate us, and that's when Killing Floor is at
what
its
is
best.
next after this? Some type of interactivity. Well, that extends beyond the controller, but it would probably still be considered gaming.
Increase the amount of Zeds that are in the world at one time.
Musk is a gamer as well. Yeah.
Way more epic.
We knew we wanted
he was at the
he
was at the Game Awards last year, I think.
How they get to you, how they damage you. So
I mean, they showed the camera on him. I remember he was there when I was there. So
anywhere on screen, Zeds can be.
Again, he doesn't have the best reputation now because of Twitter.
And really learn how to prioritize my targets. It's not essentially what's closest to me, but what can get to me faster.
It's really just
more damage.
shocking
it's just more ways to kind of
how much he screwed up Twitter. Like Twitter was already screwed up, but how much further it went downhill.
A very detailed hit detection system now, and you can blow off any limb, every bullet.
And now they just confirmed that pornography is like fully allowed on Twitter, which to me is just them saying, yeah, we can't get rid of it, so here you go. And so it's gotten so bad. It's just basically anything and everything's allowed on there. Capital G. The
you shoot that, will explode off and expose.
So I'm familiar with the Killing Floor games in that they're kind of, you know, horde-based multiplayer games, but I never played them.
One thing that's always felt
they always look kind of cool and fun though, but I feel like it's a game that would be better played with friends.
Their heads are made up of multiple meshes so that it can essentially open up and kind of randomizes what that head could look like. There is the opening shot of Day of the Dead, where there's literally just a massive tongue and maybe like a few teeth hanging there. We're very big horror fans, so there's kind of like little Easter eggs throughout everything. That impact and that feedback and that variation makes shooting things in the head feel incredibly rewarding.
I was talking for a long time. It's already been 40 minutes. Fuck.
For more information, visit killingfloor3.com and wishlist now.
This to me is how streams should be, where we just have constant conversation and the stream's kind of in the background. I know it's a reaction stream, but to be honest, it's more, I'd much rather just conversate with you guys and then just kind of passively pay attention. To me, that just is a better use of the time, but I know you guys obviously
All right, let's leave Zeds behind.
want to know my
because in our
thoughts
next
here,
game,
so.
There is a different type of mob filling the streets. Thousands of
Still not sure if I'm going to do a
streams
birthday stream this
You
year.
can manage traffic, security,
I still have to figure out what game I would play,
Football tycoon game, Coppa City. Here's the world premiere trailer.
if anything, what we would kind of do, and in a time that we can do it.
This city is about to
I have to record, I'm going to be recording a video on me doing my last sort of purchases and searches on the Xbox 360 Marketplace before it closes next month. So I got to do that sometime this week. And there's some other videos I'm working on for you guys, and you know, some of the more project-based videos that I'm putting out once a month. Hey, Sel. You didn't miss much. We've been conversating most of the time, other than kind of, I guess, kind of paying attention to the stream passively. So you missed conversation. Oh, internet's fine. It seems to be fine right now. No drops so far. I restarted my modem. It hasn't gone offline yet, but if it does, then I'll just say that you jinxed it, and it'll be your fault. I'm kidding.
Host the biggest clubs, engage thousands of fans, create a football fiesta.
You know what I want to see? You know what I was just thinking about? I really want to see IO's new James Bond game. I know that they're, you know, still hard at work on it. They've been doing some hiring, actually, for help to finish the game. But, man, it's been a long time since we heard about that. I really, really wish that we would get an announcement for that this year. I miss James Bond. Look, they changed... It's another... I paused the stream, sorry. But look, there's another They increased the size of this badge. Microsoft can't keep the same box art going. Yeah, that's the other thing you missed, Cell. At the beginning of the stream, I went over they changed the box art for the Xbox Series X yet again. So you'll see it on the archive. It's weird that internet is laggy, even yours is laggy. Yeah, I just think that we have gigabit speeds, but the stability of connections is still as poor as it was all those years ago. And this is hardwired in. I'm using Cat 7 Ethernet cables. They're, you know, I'm not sitting here, you know, just fucking, you know, on Wi-Fi connection or some shit. The modem is right behind me. I don't even know if you guys can see it. It's right behind my TV. So it's like in the same room. It's wired up, and this is a 1080p stream. And I'm only streaming in... Yeah, this is a 1080p video that we're watching, and I'm only streaming in 1080p. So I don't know, man. It's fucking companies. And then they charge you like an arm and a leg for the privilege of internet. Whoa, excuse me. You know what we didn't also hear about that was rumored? The Xbox handheld. There was a rumor that we were going to get an Xbox competitor to the Steam Deck. and that it was going to be based on Xbox and PC gaming. You could basically play your games across, or take those games on your console on the go, and also pick them up on your PC. I mean, we didn't hear anything about that. That would have been a bombshell announcement.
Nightmare Clown. Hey, Cat. Are you ready to play awesome games in my own fantasy megaverse? I hope I never wake up.
Stay.
Bad Clown. So what's up first? A little Halo capture the flag, or
Have a lovely picnic?
sure.
Kat, we've been talking. You do know about PC Game Pass, right?
PC Game Pass.
The new Scooby-Doo looks weird.
PC players play new and immersive PC games. Like going to a PC gamer's dreamland, only you're awake and he's not here. Tell me all about it!
You'll get day one access to some of the biggest new releases, along with a curated library of PC games.
It even includes an EA Play membership. And it's crammed to the gunnels with exclusive member benefits and discounts.
I wish Halo on Series X... Wait, I wish the Halo Xbox Series X console wasn't limited edition. That's right, they did do that. I really wanted one, but at least I got the Series Elite 2 controller. Okay. Well, I gotta say, the 2 terabyte space special edition, whatever they're calling it, Xbox Series X, I love that design with just the dots. It's just a really nice texture on top of something that was... I always liked the Series X design. I thought it looked fine. But it, I think that new design with the Galaxy theme or whatever they're calling it looks really good. So, do you have a Series X?
You know, it's not
I guess you must have something because you have the Series Elite 2 controller.
Cute friends really know what they're talking about.
Oh, they sure do, Mika.
I guess you could use
Game
that on
Pass is a
PC,
great
though.
way to try out tons of PC games without having to buy them at full price.
So true. Well, let's keep the show rolling with some more trailers.
I really hope that the PC market as well starts to balance out the price market for stuff like GPUs. It's just a shame that it used to be that $800 would get you a flagship GPU, one of the best out there on the market, and now you have to spend like double that for basically what, a 4090. I really wish that it would just balance out, the crypto market, and also the fact that Nvidia has no real competitor really just screwed the whole market up. You do have a Series X? Okay.
Turns out one less job, 2 million gets hunted across the North American wilderness by the military-industrial complex, and I was like, hey, can I shoot this promo here? And they said, well, it's Texas, of course we can hunt you. And I said, what's that? The one thing the games industry needs more than a corporation that gives a shit about developers and their players is Wasp Slander. Now, I could tell you about how Strange Scaffold, the studio behind El Paso Elsewhere, is making an exciting new action game, but if you get anything out of this next trailer, I hope it's that wasps are evil bastards, and they should be shot on sight. Thank you.
Where are you hiding? The more you hide, the more
This is interesting.
and the more agents we send. Well, come on out, you big bitch.
Okay.
Wait, no!
Oh, this looks fun. I like the art style. Again, it kind of has that shell-shaded look like 13. I need to get an original copy of that game on Xbox. I do have the reboot, or not the reboot, the remake, which I heard was not good. I have that on PC, but haven't played it. I Am Your Beast. That looks good.
The cataclysm left us broken. Lost. But we rose, piece by piece, night after night. They broke us once, but I see no broken souls today. I see a people carved from stone. And with this stone, we will rebuild.
Coming up in the PC Gaming Show.
They do a commercial break. Coming up next after these ads. Maybe there's an intermission. There's a bathroom break intermission as part of this stream. Oh god, I hope not, because then that means it's really long.
Listen, I don't care what you were doing back on Earth, shooting hobos in tracksuits or sweating in a bush in some godforsaken jungle.
You might buy the Galaxy Series X. It looks cool. Yeah, I really like the design of it. I just,
enemy operators deployed in the AO.
I don't really need it, you know.
It seems like those alien
And also, I have the console cover, the Starfield console cover, so I wouldn't even be able to enjoy, you know, the design of it. This looks good. It's a multiplayer game, obviously, but is this no. I thought this was GTFO, but no. Something else. Another kind of extraction type shooter. Level 0 extraction. Okay. Yeah.
Excellent work as always, Day 9. What's up, everybody? I'm Tasteless, and I am joined with David Kim and Artosis. Today, we're going to be talking to you about a very exciting new game, Battle Aces, a fast-action RTS.
Got our esports.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. So this first
if Apple made a game console, how would you want them to do it? Should it learn? I mean, Apple really shot themselves in the foot by not focusing on gaming. You would think that Apple is all about creativity and like the artist machine, and it's the system where if you're a creator, you want the Mac, right? You would think that gaming would be something that they'd be all over, but they just like let Microsoft take it all from them. And
but your opponents as well, and start strategizing from the get-go.
For sure, and not only that, I can also see the precise, I guess, tech progress of my opponent.
It's hard.
So we can strategize very precisely.
This is why I don't want Xbox to go away from the console space, because there's no real competitor to PlayStation. You know, like you have Nintendo, and I guess, you know, they compete with PlayStation in that sense that they make a console platform and they're about games and stuff, but they attract a very different core audience. And I just don't know, like if Xbox ever went away from the console space, it'd be terrible. There's no competition for Sony, no direct competition for Sony in that hardcore space for games. You know, Nintendo makes their IPs and they focus on their stuff, but it appeals to a completely different audience. I feel so. I think that it'd be great to have another competitor in the console space, but I just do I want it to be Apple? Not really.
King crabs that are very strong at harassing enemy bases and expansions.
Now, game timers and RTS.
Yeah, not really. I don't know if I'd.
But what's interesting about this one is that this game counter is counting down.
I don't know if I care for
What's the
that.
story with that?
Yeah, so we have a max game limit of 10 minutes in this game. So when the timer reaches 0, then
I don't see Apple making a console.
And the winning player is whoever has the higher score when that happens.
But I think that they do. I think that they should, you know, focus really on their OS to allow for, you know, game developers to make games for them. Like, you know, games come out for the Mac, but they come out much later, typically, if at all. So if they could find a way to like attract the audience there,
He was kind of off position. That's why he went all in on that.
I think that'd be good for the industry.
It looks like he
But
will end up killing off your third base here.
yeah, I just don't see another console player in the market. I just hope Xbox doesn't go away, because it'd just be terrible as far as competition goes.
Yeah, but I do have a bigger army, and I was able to save those 2 king crabs and bring them back. So I'm feeling pretty good about this.
Who do I think is more equipped to make a console, LG or Samsung? Oh, absolutely. Samsung's more gamer-centric. Samsung has that platform on their televisions.
It's going to end up being a rout, even taking down his flying units there. Looks like you've done a great job.
But I'm also not a fan of Samsung.
You know, I gotta say, guys, I've played a lot of Battle Aces, and if you
I got really pissed. I have one of their older QLEDs, and like it's a great TV, but God, the software. Oh God, Samsung's Tizen is terrible. It is so bad, and I hate their philosophy. Samsung has this terrible philosophy with all of their televisions that are just like, we're gonna artificially pop the colors and blow up the contrast so you get this, like, if you care about accuracy and creative intent, you want to stay as far away from Samsung as possible, because their philosophy is that they just want to create this dazzling image. And yeah, you could always calibrate it and get a professional calibrator, but you get there much closer with out of the box performance going with an LG or especially Sony televisions.
Next up,
Anyway, but yeah, I think if they were to make if it was LG or Samsung to make a game console, absolutely Samsung. They already have that deal with Xbox.
Go for it.
And they seem more gamer-centric anyway.
The world of a malfunctioning android housing the digitized consciousness of a human being can be treacherous existence.
I was supposed to introduce that trailer. Me, Mika. And then he just swoops in and steals it. Ho, you've made a powerful enemy today, plot.
Mika, is everything okay?
Yeah, what? Yeah. Why wouldn't it be?
Okay, great. As I was saying, this
is going to be a 2-hour conference because of this. I have to say that after watching the Summer Games Fest, the Future Games Show, the Xbox presentation, and as they went from game to game to game, you know, with very little in-between stuff.
You got it, Sean. I'm sorry, I just,
Now watching the PC gaming show, it's kind of like,
okay, you know what? Honestly, totally fine. Go ahead.
You sure? Okay.
just show the
Lost your
game.
memory and there's a bounty on your head.
This is 5 to 10 minutes of just this.
Sorry, Sean. You got taped over.
I got Citizen Sleeper recently, still need to play it. Cool, it's getting a sequel. I don't know anything about this game, and I don't know if we're going to know anything about this game before they finish.
As nature's dumbest sound.
Oh, forget it. Just cue the dang thing.
Well, in all of its uninterrupted glory, here's our first ever look at the gameplay in Citizen Sleeper 2.
Oh, it's already
which
interrupted.
I got to announce and not Sean.
Wake up, Sleeper. We're in trouble. Lane's closing in, and we need this next contract to go right. But nothing's gone right so far. That contract Carson gave us was trouble from the start. Junie? I didn't trust her. Not for a moment. That derelict was a death trap. Suddenly, it was all over. But we've got to bounce back.
I enjoy the whole show, the wholesome games show as well. It does appear not everyone. It does not appear to everyone. It's the less serious games, but like not everything needs to be serious. Oh, okay. I didn't watch that direct. It does not appeal to everyone. Okay.
Or we find someone new.
No, I think it's important that we have all these showcases. I really do. Do they need to be 2 to 3 hours long? No. I mean, come on. But I do feel like, you know, they're important. That game has an interesting art style. Okay. The lightsaber. Is it a top-down game? Is it a 3D game? 3D cinematics, top-down gameplay? I'm confused. This is the 14th game? Or is it just Space Station 14?
Wish you could keep track of all the games you're seeing on the PC
It's the
Gaming
14th
Show?
sequel.
Well, that's exactly what Wishlists are for. The PC Gaming Show Steam page is a one-stop shop where you can fill up your wish list with every single game we're featuring on our show. Make it quick, though.
Due to how many
We've
inders
got
there
an
are, I think it might be
unbeatable
easy to
trailer
get in
coming up.
contact with some of them and
That's
do
no
a showcase
exaggeration.
for them.
It really is unbeatable.
Well, again, considering how expensive it is just to have your game showcased at the Games Fest, yeah. And again, I think that's great that they. Well, I don't think the price is great, but I do think it's these showcases allow them to get the word out because marketing and stuff like that's a lot of hinges on how well your game's gonna do. It's just marketing. You need to let people know it exists. Especially with the internet, how saturated it is these days, it's hard. Again, that's why I like the format for how Steam does it. At least Steam showcases you on the front page, basically all the new upcoming stuff. And yeah, there's adverts there, and some companies pay for that spot, but it isn't like, all the time. You find new indies daily? Unbeatable. Have I checked out Moon Studios' new Souls-like game? Those are the guys behind Ori, right? I think so. Yeah, No Rest for the Wicked. That does sound familiar, so I think I have seen it. Need to look into it more. It's kind of like a top-down game, right? I think I remember seeing the gameplay. You know what? While we're waiting here, I'm gonna get a refill and also use the bathroom because I drank too much soda. So here, I'm gonna be back like in like 2 seconds. All right.
Shot of exciting news.
I'm gonna leave the stream up though.
1.0 launch and twin stick shooters Odenfall coming to early access later this year.
Okay, Mika, I can't wait to show everyone our next game, and it's so exciting. I'm gonna need to stand up for this. You should stand up too.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. It's hard to think of a better combination than the team behind the gloriously gory medieval warfare slasher Chivalry 2 and this classic zombie survival horror game that started out as a mod for Half-Life 2.
Brace yourself for 8-player co-op, permadeath, and the terrifying cinematic experience of No More Room in Hell. So let's take a look.
Oh. Yeah, you're gonna want to sit down for this.
But I just stood up.
No More Room in Hell 2 is a permadeath horror co-op game.
You start with a flashlight with no weapons, and you're exploring in the dark, and you're trying to find your first friend and your first weapons to get some safety.
You find more gear, you find more people. It's suddenly 4 players, 6 players, 8 players, up to that final showdown at the power plant, where hordes of zombies are pouring in and are using explosives and assault rifles to overcome that final challenge.
Like with Chivalry, combat is the first thing we focused on, being Torn Banner. We want that game feel just really intense, and it's part of the immersion. Every run is different. We're looking at how do we deliver the Hollywood cinematic experiences? You know, how do we put you in a place that you've never been before, but you've always wanted to be? It's like a co-op game with consequences. And the fun becomes, how long can I survive the zombie apocalypse?
Alright, I'm back. We got a shooter they're showing. Is this a new IP? There's an ambitious game, not a lot of them. Wait, there is this ambitious game, not a lot of, I've been waiting to tell you. Oh, not a lot of people know about it right now. Has one person made by, oh, lots of potential, okay. Well, like I said, send me anything on Twitter. I'll check it out. Live the Life. Open world life sim game with the Sims and GTA elements. I've never heard of that before. Well, you can send me, again, send me some interesting games on Twitter. And then I'll check them out. Zero Subvert. Live the Life is still in development. It's on early access. Okay. Yeah, I recognize that early access is important, but I usually don't play games in early access. I'll wait however long I need to for version 1 of the game to come out. I just would rather not have my first experience with the game be, you know, early access where it's going to change. That's just me personally. So yeah, typically I don't play games in early access.
Peggy 18.
It's another hero shooter. It's like a racing game, but you're sprinting across. That's interesting. Dead sprint. Well, that's an interesting concept. Literally a racing game, but it's like track and field on steroids. No Rest is also on early access. I would have tried it out if it were a free demo, but oh, it's a paid early access. Yeah.
You've heard of motorbikes and motorboats.
I mean, I get it that people want, like, you know, allows people to be part of the development process, they can submit their feedback and stuff. I think that's great. I just, you know, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games, so for me it's like the I wouldn't really care about early access unless like I really cared about the game. You know, I'd have to like really care about the game enough to like want to really get into it and submit feedback and stuff, but I don't think it works so well within a single player focused environment. Kind of makes sense for multiplayer.
And now I'm beyond lucky to be joined by Crescent County's creative director, Anna Hollenreich. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am so excited to be here.
Now, that was a lovely trailer, and I'd love if you could just walk us through a little more of what we just saw.
It's kind of if you're imagining Kiki's Delivery Service meets the Bikes of Kira, set on a rural witch tech island. It's a game about finding yourself kind of as a proto-adult, and I'm really interested in this question of how do you find home in a new space? How does a place become yours? By day, you're driving around the island, making deliveries to the locals, and then by night, you're racing around the island with the characters that you've befriended along the way, or, I don't know, maybe you want to get one of the characters to date you, but you need a bed frame because they have self-respect.
It's an interesting concept.
Some personal experiences into this. It's so real. Okay, so talk to me a little bit about where the idea for Crescent County came from.
It's inspired by my first ever proper video games job where I moved to the Isle of Wight. I couldn't stop doing this witch tech mashup. I couldn't stop drawing it. I was going to Comic-Cons, I was selling art about it, and I've been working in big teams on things like Fall Guys. But I knew that if I didn't launch myself out into the unknown, I would never forgive myself.
So you're taking this big leap into making this game, and it's in the cozy genre. What sets your game apart from those?
Wow.
So this is a delivery life sim game, right? But it's also got underground motorroom street racing in it. I really love genre mashups.
I checked
think
Twitter
that
just
they're
for a
so
quick sec.
interesting. And I love making worlds that feel
And someone
warm
said that the
and
price
lived
of
in
Alan
and
Wake
loved, where people
Remaster,
feel, you know,
the disc
relaxed
version,
and safe. But
is now
also, if
considered
you want to
rare,
amp
I
things
guess,
up,
and
you
the
can
price
trick out
went
the
up.
motor room
And I
to
just
the
checked
point where you're
eBay,
almost
and
flying and
it's like
crashing together
$65, $70. People are asking for it. It's a game that launched at like $30.
We're really interested in making this island
Why?
feel very
They must have made,
relaxing
like,
to
few
drive around,
copies?
but also hiding all of these little shortcuts and jumps and boosts all over the place so that it can be just as intense and chaotic sometimes as well.
Interesting. Game
Where can
collecting's
everyone get
just
their hands on Crescent
weird.
County?
So this game means the absolute world to us. It's a bit of my heart, it's a bit of my soul, and if it interests you, please add it to your wish list.
Well, that looked interesting. It's an interesting
Crescent
concept, I
County
guess.
looks amazing, Sean, and it is just oozing with charm. I'm definitely making room for it at the top of my wish list.
And if you want to wishlist Crescent County and all the other great games you've seen on our show today, they're all located in one place, the PC Gaming Show Steam page.
Okay, it's time to put the brooms away as we take a look at some other wickedly good releases.
Forgotten Seas, huh? It's like Sea of Thieves, except it's a little bit more realistic art direction. Black Ops 6 is online only, even in campaign. Seriously? Well, I mean, wasn't Modern Warfare 3... The other Call of Duties are kind of like that too, right? Where they... I noticed on the box it says requires online connection. And that's probably because the game isn't even on the fucking disc. I would imagine that, you know... I mean, I heard that it's supposed to be like a 300 gigabyte game.
And I am the last man standing.
But yeah, I would imagine that it's not even on the disc. It's just the installer.
I steel myself for what's to
barely
come.
any content.
I may not survive this.
It sucks though.
But at least I'll go down fighting. Fighting for a chance to make things right. Even if it's too
This looks
little, too
interesting.
late.
Moon Mystery. They said it's due to streaming textures. Oh, that bullshit. Why is it like we gotta stream the textures? You know, it's like, just make a download for fuck's sake. Even if it's like 50 gigabytes of textures. Have like the ultra 4K texture, I don't know. Streaming textures. This is modern gaming. You gotta stream the textures to you. And they still pop in. Just like last gen, like that was a big issue towards the latter half of last generation. Is like, you'd be sitting here, it wasn't even just the latter half, it was actually in the beginning as well. I remember like, well, Mirror's Edge Catalyst had a huge issue with that, but Battlefield 4 also did. There's a lot of games where the textures would just stream in as you're playing because you're moving too fast in the environment. The hard drive couldn't keep up, and it even happens from time to time on the Series X. I've noticed has that issue. The PS5's that SSD is fast enough to the point where it keeps up. I don't see any texture prop in unless there's a real big issue with the game, like when I played that other game. I forgot what it's called. It was terrible. But yeah, that's a lame excuse. I remember I couldn't play Black Ops Cold War single player on release because of the problems with the internet at the time. Yeah, that's fucked up.
Set out on the journey, my child, and find your voice.
what it is, the sound of the instrument.
I wish the SSD card for the Series X wasn't, yeah.
Where to search for it.
Yeah, it still is expensive, huh? I mean, that's the thing, like, when Sony did their, I mean, Sony's always allowed you to put a hard drive in your system. Third party, at least since the PS3. I know the PS2 had the hard drive expansion, but I thought you had to buy, like, you had to buy a specific one from Sony. You couldn't just slot any 2.5-inch, you know, hard drive in there. And you needed to have some type of special software on it. But I mean, that's the thing about, like, the Sony. It was really expensive, the M.2 drives, when they launched with the PS5. Now they're super cheap. I got that 4TB one in my PS5 for like $280. Those were like $600-700 when they first came out. You know, when the PS5 was first coming out. So the price is now starting to lower, and now you have we're on Gen 6? No, Gen 5 of those M.2s. Anyway, yeah, but the Xbox ones are proprietary, so it's up to them, you know. Your only options are Western Digital and a Seagate option, and there's no competition because it's proprietary, so they're still going to charge, what is it, like $140 for the 1TB version? And I think there's only still 1TB available, right? You can't buy like a 2TB card.
Hello, my name is Nicole He, and I'm working with
So your
Newgrow
options
and
are limited as
Devolver Digital
well.
to make the world's first thirst-person shooter, The Crush House. So
Thirst?
in this game, you've been hired to
Oh,
produce
this game.
1999's hottest reality
They're calling it
show,
a
and your job is to shoot the
thirst-person
cast,
shooter?
Film the drama and give the audience what they are thirsting for. But remember,
Oh, there is a
never
2TB? Okay.
speak to the talent. Anyway, all the different audience groups want to see different things, so let's see who's tuning in today. All right, we've got the divorced dads. They want to see romances, meat on
I
the
do
grill,
like
strong
that
male emotions, you know,
with the
divorced dads.
expansion
And the
cards
fish
now,
freaks are
and for
here.
both
Learn what is
PlayStation
an
and
ad, so
Xbox,
let's
is that
get
you
some
can't remove the internal drives. So when you expand it, it just adds on the already existing space available. Because on the PS4, you have to take out the 500 gigabyte and then slot in whatever, you know, space. Oh, look at that. And then slot in whatever the expansion would be. But now on PS5 and Series X, when you put in the new expansion storage, it just adds to the already existing one. So that's nice. It means I have almost 5 terabytes of space on my PS5 and
But don't worry if
2
things do
terabytes
go
on my
wrong.
Series
This is
X.
reality TV after all. Just pick a new cast, start the season
So that's one
over,
thing I
and
do
this
like.
time, we'll make it to the series finale of The Crush House.
Game's bizarre. Having that much storage sounds like a dream. The thing that scares me is that what if the PS5 Pro's coming? I mean, I have to expand that storage too. I guess that it's a personal problem. I think most people who would be getting a PS5 Pro would probably get rid of their PS5, but I like to keep my consoles. So, I mean, because I'm a multi-platform gamer, I don't, you know, I play my games across both systems, so I haven't filled up the space yet, but like if I only played on PS5, that'd be really, you know, really come in handy. But right now I still have like 2.5 to 3 terabytes left, so it's probably gonna last me throughout the rest of this generation, hopefully. We'll see now that Black Ops 6 has taken, what did they say, 300 gigabytes for Black Ops 6? God. I do like that you can uninstall certain elements of the game, though. So if you don't want, you know, multiplayer or the zombies mode, you can just install that portion of the game and only have installed what you use or what you do actively play. So that's good. And I gotta give it to Sony. Their compression software, I think it's called Kraken, actually does a really good job. Sometimes with third-party releases, there's been a significant decrease in games that utilize the Kraken software. So that's good. But yeah, there's gotta be an alternative. I miss when games are less than 50 gigabytes. They're way too many. Yeah, well, see, that's like, you gotta feel for the people who buy only digital. Like, sometimes those games they must take hours to download.
Trust me when I say I know what it's like to wait for a big
You know?
release to arrive. This particular download has been queuing for months.
But yeah, I think the
But further
problem
extraction
also,
features, and I'm talking
and this is
about the
mostly a
extraction feature,
Microsoft
the one
problem.
that
They
can
just
offer an
announced this
entirely
with
new genre. Don't have much
or
longer
it came up as a potential issue with Alan Wake 2, which they confirmed wasn't going to be because they fit all the content on the disc. Supposedly they fit the game and the DLC on the disc. I think I read that right. But the Xbox console specifically, or Microsoft specifically, still uses standard Blu-ray discs for all the Series X games, and the PS5 games all operate off of Ultra HD Blu-ray, which has double the storage space, almost 100 gigabytes on disc. So you run into those issues. Like I bought Mortal Kombat 1 on Series X, and it came with 2 discs because there's just not enough space on those standard Blu-rays anymore. But that's best case scenario, you know. I think the other side of the coin is that you have smart delivery, and this is probably why they kept with the standard Blu-ray disc, because they use smart delivery, and usually when you buy Series X games on disc, they have the base Xbox One version on the disc, and then the patch, they download the patch, or they download the Series X version when you put the disc in. So it's not even like you're buying the true Series X version on the disc. If it's a, you know, smart delivery type game, it has the standard Xbox One version on there.
Похоже, придется тебе снова показать, чего ты стоишь, боец. Путь осилит идущий, так ведь?
This looks interesting. Kind of looks like Tarkov.
И кто знает, может у тебя и
I
получится.
didn't even know there were 2 discs for Xbox Series games. Yeah, there's some developers actually will do it, like NetherRealm did it for Mortal Kombat 1. But that's the reason why, is because the Xbox uses standard Blu-rays, and Blu-rays top out at 50 gigabytes, whereas Ultra HD is 100, I believe. All these little things, you know? Baldur's Gate 3 physical comes... Oh, physical on Xbox comes with 4 to 5 days. Or discs. Yeah. I have Baldur's Gate 3. I got the physical version on PS5. Which is still sealed, by the way. But yeah, that's crazy. 4 to 5 discs. It's like a PC game. It's like the old school PC games. You know? I remember when I got Grand Theft Auto 5, I bought the physical version on PC. It had like 6, 7 discs. Because they're just standard DVDs. It's nuts.
If it's vengeance you want, I'll give it to you. As long as Ooh is free.
We saw this at the Xbox conference earlier, so I guess we're getting another look.
Send him away. Stem the tide of destruction. It's the least you can do.
Oh yeah. I think Max Payne 3, back in the day, single player game on PC had like 3 or 4 discs, I believe. I think I still have my physical copy. They're like in the they're in the freaking, like, they're in a bin somewhere. I think I still have them though. But that was back, you know, when standard DVDs were being used, so those top out at what, 8 gigabytes? So what would happen is you put the disc in, it installs, which takes like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it asks you to put disc 2 in, eject, put disc, and then would just do the same thing until like you're on your like 6th or 7th disc or whatever, and just use it that way. I actually think I know where my copy of GTA 5 for PC is. I could like run and grab it really quickly. I think Fallout 4 had the similar thing. I think it might have been like 4 discs though. Prey 2006 with 3 CDs. Yeah, I used to, so when I first started doing unboxing videos, well, around the time I first started doing the driving to GameStop unboxing videos, I bought a couple of PC games on disc because I didn't want to give up physical media when going to PC, and then, like, as I got older, I was just like, alright, this isn't worth it. Actually, these days, you can't even buy... I don't think... You can buy... There's very few games you can actually buy retail boxes for, but you open them up and they just have a digital code. So it's like the biggest waste of plastic. It's like a non-existent market anymore. But I think I still have a couple of those PC games. You learn something about games every day. Yeah, I can show it to you guys. Maybe if the stream gets extra long and boring, I'll go grab it really quickly. You'll show me on Twitter how that box looks? Okay.
Blows your mind. Mullet Mad Jack.
Anyway, the big question is what
Sean, I am
Microsoft
sad
is
to
going to
say
do next
we're now a
gen.
million miles
Because
away
again,
from
if
the
they
end
go
of our
all
show.
digital, then
Already?
I'm just coming back to PC.
Wait, Sean, are you about to yell no and dramatically wave your fist at the
No,
sky?
no, I just thought I was going to sneeze.
Oh.
Anyways, as you were saying.
Right, well, we don't have much left in the show, so it's time to...
Oh.
Sorry,
They don't have
turns
much
out
left.
I am allergic to shows nearing conclusion.
Oh, it's
Well, as
almost
I was
been
saying,
2
it
hours,
is time
actually.
to share something very special. We are living in a golden age of city builders, and there's something out there for everyone. Strategy, survival, puzzle games, co-op. There are even some really great, cozy, no-stress city builders.
And it's true. But even with all the city builders I play, I can honestly say that we've never seen one quite like this. From a very talented team of developers who made games like Mark of the Ninja and Gone Home, let's watch the world premiere of Generation
Gone
Exile.
Home, huh?
Our generation ship was to travel hundreds of years across the stars so we could build a new world for humanity. We had tried to restore Earth's ravaged ecology. The desperate solution nearly wiped us out instead. And now it's on the ship. And it's growing. There are only a few thousand of us left, and we cannot repeat the past. In our ship's closed ecosystems, resources are finite. Nothing can go to waste. Every bit of scrap needs to be salvaged, reclaimed, and repurposed into what we need to survive. Materials, food,
I think the PC gaming
water,
show
air.
is
We might
decent.
not
I
always work
feel
well
that
with
they
each
need
other.
more big
We
reveals,
might
but I think
squabble.
smaller games
We
to
might
show
stumble,
were pretty
but we
good.
are all we
Yeah,
can.
there's nothing
As we're
been,
building
or nothing has been really kind of
systems,
earth-shattering
years
here.
will go by like
Last year, like their big thing was the Dune MMO,
and to the unknown.
and they waited till the very end to
We're
show
not just
that. I don't
learning
know
to
what
build a sustainable
like
future.
what their big
Everyone on
thing
board
is
is
here.
living their own story.
I feel like there could have been
Your
other
story will be different
potential
from mine.
exciting
Can we
things to
escape
show.
the mistakes that drove us from our home?
I want to see more of that game,
Because
The
every
Altars.
decision we
I want to
make
see
will determine if humanity earns a second chance.
someone mentioned. Well, actually, no, it's a Microsoft game. The next game from the Ori guys, Moon Studios. So, like, I just feel like there could have been some more AA style games, I guess. I'm not like wanting to like kill myself like last year. Last year was just, that was bad.
Generation Exile is a sustainable solarpunk city builder with a reactive emergent narrative that changes every single time the game is played. You are aboard a generation ship traveling for several hundred years. leaving a ecologically ravaged Earth behind, attempting to find a new home for humanity.
Hopefully
So
next
rather
year's the
than
best one.
repeat the
We'll
failings
see.
of
Next year looks like it's going to be a
Earth's
great
past,
year for
we need to
games.
find a new way to develop a society
Provided everything comes
that
out.
is sustainable and can thrive.
Your job is to make sure that you
It's gonna be a
shepherd
big,
humanity successfully to the
It's going to be
destination
the
planet.
sort of the big thing is you have.
Live to get there.
Next year looks
Enough people
jam-packed.
to keep humanity going.
But I feel like whatever month Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be announced for, every developer is going to like run away. They're going to give GTA 6 its own month.
There's kind of this unquestioned notion that we see both in a lot of strategy.
I don't think a single one of them is going to want to release within like a 4-week time period around that
We
game.
can just keep extracting. We can just keep growing. And
I think we're also going to see a lot of
simply not
games try to release before
forever. And that
GTA
is a thematic
6.
element of the game for sure, but I think part of that has come from just looking
Yeah,
at
it's gonna take the
around
industry
us.
over
All the
by
goals are just like, what are the
like a
returns
huge
for the next
storm.
quarter? You know, we see the harm that is caused by that single-minded focus on how can we
I hope
extract as much
GTA 6. I
value
hope
in
it
the short
releases for
term. And the
PC
people
one
who
day.
are
Oh, it
harmed
will.
the most
It's
by
just
that
gonna
are the
take like
thousands of people
2
who
years.
in the last 6-8 months have lost
You'll
their
probably
jobs,
see it
right?
in,
So
if it does release in 2025, I would say, you know, spring 2027. If you look at the past with Rockstar Games,
no external source of
you know,
anything else.
Fundamentally,
GTA
you're on a
5
spaceship.
came out
You got what you
late
got.
2014
What we wanted to
or
achieve
early.
is to
No, I
take
think it was
a
early
relatively
2015 for
recognizable
PC.
set of city building mechanic, but
Something
have
around. It was like a year and a half
narrative and story
between when it
elements
came
there
out
as well.
on
The thing that is so
console,
rich about City Builders
and then
is
they
that
ported
they're
it to
so
next
systems
gen at
dense,
the
and
time,
that
and I
game
think
state is
afterwards
all
it
very
came to
much driven
PC.
by the choices and decisions that
So that's
the
probably
players
what's going to
making.
happen
But
again.
opportunity that we
The
saw
only game
is to
from Rockstar that
look at
released
all that
date and
in
date,
City
or at
Builder
least
game state.
close, was Max Payne 3. Max Payne 3 released on PC only, I think, a week or two after the console release. You know, I remember because I played it on
Rather than,
PC.
you know, just like everyone's gonna play
It was a
through the
really
game,
good
and
port.
at turn 15, this thing happens. Then turn 25.
If they delayed
this thing
GTA 6 in
happens.
November
Instead,
26,
you can just have
oh, you
authored
wait.
narrative
If they delayed
events
GTA 6 in
that
November
are reactive to
2026, so
whatever
instead of
choices you
November
made,
25,
like
do you think people would
weird ecology
meme it
things that are occurring aboard the vessel?
long
There's
for the
situations,
long
crises.
waits?
Yeah.
Small and large.
I don't think it would be pushed back that
player the
long,
ability
but
to
no,
make
I think
consequential specific
I don't think
decisions
people are
that
really gonna.
divorced from just the pure
There might be some people who are
systems of the
upset, but
game.
yeah,
It's
I
that
don't think
informs
it's
the
gonna.
events that
People
will
are really
occur in
gonna
the future,
mind.
so that at the end there will be echoes of
People will
decisions
wait.
you've made along the way. It should feel like the journey to get there.
The
Is
question
one that you
is
uniquely
it
experience
gonna
and the conditions
fulfill
that
like
finish
everyone's
with are
expectations?
ones
Because
that
it's quite
are
high.
reactive
It's
to all the
been
decisions you made leading
over a
up to
decade
that
since we've
The
had a
game
mainline
release
Grand Theft Auto
right now
game.
on Steam.
People are fucking
and
tired of Grand Theft
folks
Auto
can also
5. I'm
just
fucking
go
tired of
to
Grand Theft Auto 5, and it's a
solidstudios.com
great game, but
to sign
man,
up for our newsletter. And
GTA
learn
Online just
more as we roll things out. There'll be more
killed the
delicious tidbits
franchise
in there.
in a different way. It was the biggest success story, but man, it really just completely changed
A huge thanks
the
to
structure
folks at Sonic
of how like
for
they
letting us
released
take a
those
look
games.
inside their new sci-fi
And when you look
city
at like the
builder
past, and it's also probably indicative of the game industry and how expensive and long development is these days, it's a combination of that mixed with the success of Grand Theft Auto Online. It just printed money for them.
Year has been incredibly difficult for so
So,
many developers in the face of
yeah, and they never added any DLC to GTA 5, which also kind of sucks. Especially because the Grand Theft Auto 4 DLC was phenomenal. It was great.
Continuing to make games in the face of
Both of them were really, really
If there's any
good.
game you saw in our show or in any of the other many showcases, we encourage you to purchase or even just wish list any of the games for
I'm just excited to see a modern take on Vice City. I love that they're going back there, and I think they're going to do a great job with
Next
it.
up, you'd think the sight of a house standing up and walking
And
around
Red Dead
on
Redemption
two
2 is still
massive
one of the
chicken
most
legs would be
impressive
horrifying. But
graphically
when you
games
realize
I've
it's
ever
taking some
played.
heavy witch vibes from everyone's
All the
favorite
systems and the interactivity and just the
It's actually pretty awesome.
how much of a
Breakout is
living
the base
space that
building
game
exploration
feels
game you curse
that
yourself
it just, you know, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be just jaw-dropping. It's going to be incredible. You build your house on top of a half-alive chicken, and it walks around. You have like chicken feet on your house. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be. It really is. I just want to know what the sales figures are. Everybody's going to be talking about that. It's going to be... Well, it's going to suck because it already has happened. You know, you're going to have, like, the non-gaming media is going to look at that and say, oh, look at humanity. You know, the world is going downhill. Grand Theft Auto, the crime simulator, you know, it's still selling out. I don't understand. The world is sick. You know, like, you're going to have those people still. Like, that's never going to go away. Especially because people still believe in this stigma that Grand Theft Auto is literally a crime simulator. Which is, it's not. It's a satirical approach on... It's just a crime drama, actually. It's just storytelling. It's just similar to any other, you know, crime drama thriller out there. Although GTA 5 was more of a satirical representation of the world at that time. But something like Grand Theft Auto 4 was very dark. It played very much like a modern crime drama. It's similar to like a mafia movie or something like that, or that type of genre. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do this year. I also am hoping that it's going to be a different tone with the story.
The RDY Y70 Valorant VCT AR002. This bad boy boasts a hefty AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D CPU, a GeForce RTX 4070 Ti, and 32 gigs of
Do you think it will lead us to getting more crime games? No. I don't think anyone wants to compete in that genre.
Power's 240mm RGB liquid cooling unit. For your chance to win, head over to pcgamer.com/survey. And now, back to more trailers.
I think, you know, every single time people try to chase after that genre, it never quite catches on. Ubisoft tried to do it with Watch Dogs, and then look what happened with Watch Dogs. It's basically, you know... I mean, the last one was, you know, dead on arrival. I like Watch Dogs 1 and 2. I wouldn't mind another one of those games, but, you know, it's just... You could tell they're not trying to make it like Grand Theft Auto. There's elements that are similar, but you know, I think they just realized that they're never going to touch that. Grand Theft Auto has this brand recognition. Even if you're not a gamer, you know what Grand Theft Auto is. I don't think very few games have that, and that's part of its success. You have people who aren't really into games, who are you know, like even like the Call of Duty crowd or the sports games crowd who only play like 1 or 2 games a year. They're gonna pick up Grand Theft Auto, and that type of customer base is something that I think a lot of games wish they had, but will never achieve. It's just brand recognition.
Unless her enemies aren't standing their windows. The Necromedic, a surgeon who turned to necromancy when she lost her medical license. She can heal you, but she'll have to kill you first. The Rebel Riot Priest, your heavy support. Faith is her armor. But she is also wearing actual armor. Together, there's no threat they can't stop. As long as they can get there by public transport, they can rewind every time they screw it up. And there's an easy mode if they need it.
Oh, my headphones just... Did they just die?
Steam August 20th. Demo available now. Also,
my headphones just died, which means probably the audio on the stream just died. Nope, you guys still have audio.
Wow, what a show so far. I'm absolutely loving it.
I just don't have audio.
And don't forget, you can do more than just watch this amazing lineup of games. You can play them too. Visit the PC Gaming Show Steam page to wishlist all the titles you've seen on today's show, all in one convenient, clickable place. Now, do you love history?
You still hear audio?
Do you also love lists with
it just died. My headphones died for me.
Items on them? Then today is your day. For our 10th anniversary, we've counted down the 10 biggest moments in PC gaming over the past decade. You can see where your favorite moments landed by visiting pcgamer.com/10.
All right, hold on.
Right. Time to grab some friends and head for the sky, where you can turn floating.
There we go. I have audio again.
Soar through the clouds.
Do I think GTA, the next GTA will come quicker? No. I'm gonna say no.
Hello. I'm Manuel Bergeron, founder and creative director of Astral Aventure.
I think they're
It is my
building
greatest pleasure to announce that we
GTA 6
just
to
launched a
be
new
like
multiplayer
a
demo
10-year game
for our
at
game,
least.
a sandbox survival game.
I just hope that there's enough
Take a look at
expansions
our
for
new
story
trailer
content,
for a few more surprises.
because you know multiplayer is just again gonna be the main point. But yeah, I don't see them making another Grand Theft Auto game, you know, with less than 10 years. I could see him maybe doing a spin-off, or not a spin-off, but like a smaller game. You know, maybe a GTA 4 remake. That'd be great. Release GTA 6, and then like 5-6 years later, you get a Grand Theft Auto 4 remake or something. That'd be a good thing to do. But yeah, I just don't see it coming. I don't see Grand Theft Auto 7 coming sooner. I heard they're planning for stuff, but I just think it's going to take too long. Aloft. Here's the Game Boy game again. Man, whoever the development team is behind this project, they're doing a great job letting people know it exists. This is like the third time we've seen it across like 3 different showcases. I think I've seen this game like every day since I started streaming. It's probably gonna do well. GTA 7 will probably have multiple states. I'd actually hope that they do a brand new location, you know? Like, you know, we did Los Santos, we did, you know, Liberty City, and now we're doing Vice City. Let's go like a brand new location. It all seems to be across the US. I'm trying to think what other major city I could see. I mentioned this for Mafia 4, potential Mafia 4, but Las Vegas would be great. Well, actually, no, because San Andreas kind of incorporated Las Vegas in it. So where have they not been so far? Huh. I mean, I don't mind going back to Liberty City. I think that it's one of the only games... I see a lot of developers, whenever they try to do New York, they only focus on Manhattan, like the one island. Even the Spider-Man games are similar like that. So I would like to see them do... like what they did in Grand Theft Auto 4, which is here you have the entire New York. You have all 3 freaking islands to explore. It's still one of the only games that's actually recreated New York in its entirety, you know? Whereas a lot of developers just focus on the single Manhattan area. But it would be cool to see, like, that's why a GTA 4 remake sounds really exciting to me, because I just want to see them, you know, with all the graphical power that their engine can do, you know, really take this game off, or really build that world in a very realistic way. By the way, this is Still Wakes in the Deep, which I'm excited for. It's like Deepwater Horizon meets some type of horror, Like Alien. Deepwater Horizon meets Alien. And it's getting a physical retail release, but only on PS5 for some reason. Maybe because of that disc issue. Looks good. And that actually, yeah, that's coming like next week. That's really soon.
Dude, Hotel Galactic looks so cute, right?
Oh my god, it does. And
I
honestly,
thought L4
I
has
would
some
just
cut
love
content
to
as
manage
well.
bed
A
and
remake could
breakfast
add that
for alien
yeah.
travelers. I just
That's a good point. And
worry that
incorporate
my
the
quaint
DLCs
taste in
as
timeless
well.
valence bedspreads just might not be suitable for interdimensional species tastes. I don't know. What do you think, Mika?
Sean, look at me. If anybody can create the cutest bed and breakfast.
Oh,
for
those are the same people that
interdimensional
made
space beings,
Amnesia, A Machine for
it's you. It's
Pigs.
this guy.
Oh, you always
Interesting.
care, Mika.
Which, to
Oh,
my
I know
knowledge,
I
is the
do.
best
And you know what else I
Amnesia
care a
game,
great
right?
deal about? It's the developers of the Chinese Room getting back to their roots for more first-person horror. Still Wakes the Deep looks atmospheric as hell and positively chilling.
Didn't the Chinese Room also do,
And hey, speaking of chilling,
didn't they
get
do
ready
that
to
game I
side-scroll
played
your
on
way through a
PS4? Was it,
2.5D post-apocalyptic zombie survival with Into the Dead.
Set in 1980s
It's kind of like one of
Texas,
those
you are
narrative
charged with
adventure
gathering
games.
resources, managing party members, and crafting
Everybody's
items,
gone to the
all while
Rapture. Did they do that
killer
game as
zombies
well?
try to chomp down on your brains.
And what's worst of all is that this is taking place during a scorching heat wave.
Oh my god, and as someone who lives in California, I can confirm that's way worse than zombies.
I feel you. I mean, my family's Irish. I get sunburned by the moon.
Oh, The Dark Descent. The worst one. Rebirth is the new one, right? The most modern one. Oh, this looks good. Oh, The Bunker.
Hi, PC Gaming Showcase.
So there's
I'm
4
Tanya from
games,
Hitbox
or is there a
Games, and I'm
5th
here
one
to show you
too?
3 different games today. So let's start with Dwarf
Because I remember
Fortress.
Amnesia being one of the first games that kind of reintroduced or created the new wave of horror games, right?
Adding tutorials and demigods later this summer.
You can play Caves of Cut.
I remember when it first came out, people were like, "Oh, this is the most terrifying thing I've ever played." But I think it would also encourage a new wave of horror games.
15 years, the game is getting its
There's
1.0
5
release
games.
later
Wow.
this year. But out today is the spring molting patch with its all-new UI. Live and drink.
And our final piece of news today is a whole new game to announce, a world premiere for the PC Gaming Showcase, Streets of Fortuna.
When A Machine for Pigs came out in 2013, I remember many people got disappointed with it, and it got bashed. However, I've since had the opinion that's focused on storytelling, and it's the greatest. Okay.
Will you be a thief?
One of those franchises I've always heard about, but I just never played for some reason. But yeah, I would like to give the older ones a shot.
An artisan? A trader? The city is a richly generated sandbox. Each citizen living their simulated life. Use knowledge to your advantage, romantically or politically. Live your other life in Streets of Fortuna.
Alright, they need to we need to start wrapping this up. We're about to reach the 2-hour mark. You didn't like Rebirth? Okay. Yeah, I'll try it out at some point. I think I own the game. They have a surprise reveal at the end? Okay. I hope so. Some of the stuff here has looked really interesting. Again, for me, the problem with the PC Gaming Show and like they did a bit better this year, but the problem is like pacing. They don't seem to have like it gets to the point where everything starts looking somewhat similar. Whether it's just the art direction or it's just I think it's the way they're cutting all these trailers together. You know, they're showing similar games after similar games, and then they move into another genre, and then it's similar after similar. I just feel like if they found a way to mix and mesh the two together, so that you got like, you know, a game like this followed by something like a shooter, then followed by something like a city builder, and then a platformer, you know, instead of just putting it all together. I think it's just the way that they cut these trailers up. Or present them, I don't know.
That was the rise of the Golden Idol, once again inviting you to unravel the truth being a tangled mystery. Now, take a look at a game from our friends at Hooded Horse that combines turn-based strategy with real-time exploration. Here's the new trailer for Every Day We Fight.
This looks different.
They put a dome.
Kind of looks like XCOM almost.
Suddenly, almost everyone was frozen.
What happened with the XCOM franchise?
Not soldiers, just ordinary people.
I missed that game, the Bureau, which was an RPG third-person cover shooter take like Mass Effect on the XCOM franchise, and it was phenomenal. I wish we'd get another game like that. They did a great job with that game. It really surprised me for the time, especially because you got the tactical gameplay of XCOM, but done within that type of style, so it was more active.
Are we alive? I could swear I just got killed.
I think we jumped back in time.
Looks interesting. One of those styles of games that you don't really see anymore. Work in progress, huh? Whatever happened to Crimson Desert? Is that game still coming? Or not? Whatever the single player game set in the Crimson universe is called. It's not is it Crimson Desert? Or is it called something else? XCOM is on hold since very similar Midnight Suns came out more than a year ago from the same devs. Oh, okay. We're working on other franchises. Yeah, I just like thinking about it. It's been MIA for a little while. Yeah, I think that also contributes to just the you know, the tedium is the fact that they sometimes cut back to doing their little skits. It's fine, you know, they're like Sean's an okay host, you know. But we've been kind of graced this year by seeing them just do game trailer after game trailer, and so when you get a presentation that's kind of not that, and they're trying to fill in some time with some comedy and skits, it's just feels a bit disconnected. This looks like a original PlayStation or N64 game. Interesting. Oh, so Crimson Desert is still coming. Okay. Well, I hope it comes out soon. Another game we heard about like years ago. I also want to play that the Star Citizen game as well. The single player portion. So that's Squadron 42, I think it's called. And I think we got an update on that a year or so ago, or a little less than a year ago, saying that they finished development and that they're just working on polishing up the game. So hopefully that's a 2025, 2026 game as well. I'm more excited for that than, I mean, I don't really care about Star Citizen.
Hi everyone.
But to have a narrative game that's kind of within that universe and with all those high-profile actors, like,
the creators of Dead Cells.
That's great.
These cute characters here are the Leapers, who live in the Ark. A peaceful village now.
You just gotta wonder if they're ever gonna finish Star Citizen.
So they train up and become fearless warriors to fight back in an attempt to save their world. Using a cool thruster, you can dash at lightning speed, letting you dart across the stage, dodge out of enemy attacks, find new areas and secrets. Through each run, you'll be able to equip different gear and upgrades, creating powerful synergies between them. For example, switching weapons at the end of a combo will let you unleash a super powerful move called an ultra attack, if you can time it right. Jump online with up to 2 other players, meaning you can mix your builds with your friends and find the best combinations to carry you through diverse biomes. Windblown will launch later this year into Steam Early Access. Player feedback is super important to help us craft a game that you guys will love to play. So join us on Steam for the latest updates and information, and how you can join in on the fun. See you soon in Windblown.
Folks, we are in the final stretch of the 10th anniversary
Final
PC Gaming
stretch.
Show, but that doesn't mean we are winding down. We are, in fact, amping up.
That's right! We're wrapping things up today with not one, but 2 world premiere trailers in a row. It's like buy one, get one free world premieres.
No, Sean. That coupon expired in 1989, so we won't be
Oh,
getting
well, that's too bad, except... look at this! This is our 10th PC Gaming Show, which means I get a free world premiere.
Look at this guy! Thanks to Sean's Grandmaster level card play, let's check out 2 big world premiere trailers to cap off our show.
Alright, these better be good. If these aren't bangers, then this might just be the worst presentation so far. Oh, this is Cult of the Lamb? Or you think it is? Wait, we already, I thought we already knew that was coming. I could have swore we already knew that that was coming. Or maybe I'm thinking of something else again. Warship. Join the cult. Okay. It was just a thought. CRT Simulator. What are the new games that the devs from Inside and Limbo working on? I thought that we were hearing things that they were going to announce their new game this year. And we didn't see it at the Microsoft conference. So, are they working on something, or did I just miss it? That was it. Those were your big giant.
That is a wrap on the PC Gaming Show 2024. We had such a great time showing you all the exciting PC games headed your way, and we're especially thrilled that you could join us for our 10th anniversary show. And I mean, if you've been tuning in to watch our show for 10 years straight, thank you so much. We couldn't have done it without you.
And if this is your first time watching, just watch the show like 10, 20 more times. Make up for all the ones you've missed and for the future ones.
That's 100% how the coupon works.
Right, and the punch card.
And we can't forget to say goodbye to our brave captain of the watch party, the amazing Frankie Ward.
Guys, it's been a great show, and I had an absolute blast.
Well, it's slightly shorter than last year's show.
Huge thank you.
Slightly.
Developers, artists, designers, writers, voice actors, and everyone else out there working so hard day after day to create games we all play and love. We appreciate every single one of you.
Absolutely, Frankie, and don't forget that you guys at
I'll wait till they
home
finish
can
up and then I'll
every game
talk.
you saw on our show today by visiting the PC Gaming Show Steam page.
Thank you so much again, everyone, and we'll see you again in November for the PC Gaming Show Most Wanted.
Heck yeah!
Bye-bye.
They're doing a Most Wanted. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, goodbye. I paused it for you guys, but I just realized I have it going on my phone. They're still saying goodbye. No, stop it. Oh, God. Okay. Slightly better than last year's show in that I didn't want to, like, my ass isn't hurting from just sitting here in complete boredom. I mean, there's a lot of interesting games on there, but I'm trying to think, like, it just seems like they don't have, I don't know, there's like an absence of heavy hitters or even like AA games, you know? I mean, it's like the PC gaming show, but to me it's like, I mean, yeah, part of PC gaming is the indie scene. It's a big part of PC gaming. So it's hard for me because I went to the very first one. I went to the very first PC gaming show. And they had high-profile games there. We got to see a first look at the engine, the graphical detail, and exclusive gameplay for, like, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, and then there was, like, all these upcoming other games exclusively. Like, if I look up right now, the very first PC gaming show 2014, I think it was. Yeah, 2014. Can I see 2014? It's only going to show me, like, does no one have 2014? PC Gaming Show 2017. I guess, is this a stream of? No, this is just them interviewing. I can't watch the original PC Gaming Show? Seriously? Now my computer's frozen. Okay, maybe it was 20. Can we see 2015 then? Okay. Here's 2015. Someone. Okay, well here's a good look. You had Deus Ex, and AMD came on and talked about their new GPUs, Star Citizen, Fable Legends, which I got to play and was canceled, Gears of War Ultimate Edition, so Microsoft was even there and had a showcase of stuff to think, or games to show. Hitman, you know, the Hitman reboot. Soma. The StarCraft is there. No Man's Sky is there. Like, see the difference in caliber of these games compared to what it is now. I think that's part of my disdain over this. You have fucking Cliff Bleszinski there showcasing, I think, Lawbreakers.
To actually launch the studio and make something.
So it's like you got, you know, these high-profile devs, and then you also have like the smaller AA stuff, and you know you want to add in. By the way, if you look at the time slots, this show was like an hour long. So you take the show now it's over 2 hours, And the vast majority of it are smaller titles, which are great that you can actually, show this off. I think, again, these games deserve a platform. I'm not trying to say these games don't deserve a platform, but I'm saying you got to mix it in with other stuff. Why don't you have, I'm surprised. I mean, I guess, you can only show what you guys have or what's available right now. But, AMD, you never hear from them anymore. They're not part of the show. Nvidia's not part of the show. Intel, they make GPUs now. There's nothing there. I don't know. I just feel like when you look at the history look at the people that were here and what they showed, and you compare that to now, it's like, what happened? What really happened? And this is a very different time in gaming, but I just feel like progressively, can we look at next year's show, 2016? There's Killing Floor 2, more Deus Ex, more GPUs from AMD. The Surge was in there. Warframe. Super Hot, more Killing Floor stuff. There's Ark, there's Lawbreakers, just more things to show. And when did it start getting bloated? Was 2017 the year? This might have been the year where they started really kind of bloating it. Oh, The Last Night was also shown in 2017. My point is just that. I just feel like, there's just a lack of certain games that are being shown that they could easily show. I think the PC gaming show should not only be about the indie titles and the unique stuff that is only coming to PC, but show and reveal exclusive gameplay of some upcoming high-profile games exclusively, the exclusive graphical features on PC, We have Black Myth Wukong coming up. Why not show PC gameplay of that? Stalker 2, PC-centric game. You have Call of Duty coming out. Call of Duty, you can get them to come on here and talk about their PC features. I just feel you should know and hear about, in addition to the unique indie scene that's on PC, also the engines and the technology used to bring the AAA games and the AA games to PC and what they're giving you, what they're giving you over the console experience. You think because there's a lack of unique games being made these days, but there's not a lack of PC games being made. There isn't. Almost everything's releasing. The PC scene is stronger today than it ever was. More and more people are jumping on PC. And you can just see the change here. Just Cause 4, Hitman 2. I just feel like why Yakuza was fucking there with those games coming to PC. I don't know. I just feel like there should be a refocus. Show your indie games and stuff, and show all these unique games, but also show the technology powering these larger games and how they're pushing the graphical envelope that is only possible on PC. That's how I personally view it as, because you have it's a big market. And I think it'd be really cool to have, especially you have these games coming out the what was it called again? The Last Descendant, or whatever that MMO game is coming out. That's mostly a PC centric game, like Helldivers. It'd be a great PC centric game. I recognize that that's published by PlayStation, but do some type of, They had Microsoft on here. They had AMD on here. You get PlayStation on here. I'm sure you can. You can do something. They have Ghost of Tsushima coming out on PC. They could have showed that. Here's exclusive, PC gameplay with the look at the graphical settings. I don't know. That's just me thinking to myself of all the other possibilities that they could have shown, and it just seems to me that they don't have much, or they're surrounding themselves by only looking at a certain subset of games, and ignoring the other portion of PC gaming. Personally, that's how I view it. Ghost of Tsushima is already out on PC. Is Horizon Forbidden West out on PC? Because if that's not, then show that. I know. No, it was God of War Ragnarok. I'm sorry, not Forbidden West. God of War Ragnarok. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. One of those games is coming to PC in the next couple months. I think it's God of War Ragnarok. Now that I think about it, because yeah, Horizon's already out on PC. But you know, there is opportunities there. So this personally is my least favorite of all the showcases so far. I just think that, you know, they could have cut down the time. It doesn't need to be over 2 hours. And I think they could get it under 2 hours. They could probably get it to like an hour and a half if they stop with the, you know, yeah, see, 2019 was the year it got bloated. 2.5 hours long. Look at this. Okay, let's say it really starts. So it's really 2 hours long.
Gaming.
But truth is, most of you types won't even make it a whole year.
Really showing here. Oh, Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines 2. What the fuck is happening with that game? It got rebooted. Or it's being redone by a different studio, right? And why wasn't that shown? Yeah, no, I think that they need to change the format so it's just trailer after trailer. Everyone's doing the trailer after trailer thing. You know, nobody really cares about the skits anymore, and I don't think anybody really cared about the skits to begin with. My least part of the Game Awards and the Summer Games Fest is when Jeff has to walk away and talk to fucking the whoever the blue-haired guy is, whatever that character is. When he has to do his like advertising stuff, it's like, oh, that's obnoxious. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 they're showing here. Or they're talking about it, at least. So yeah, I just feel, you know, that's my piece on it. You know, there seems to be a weird, like, decrease in the variety of types of games, or really, I guess, what would you call that? And I want to use, you know, money as a way to... I'll say scale. The scale of the games, right? There seems to be a decrease in AAA and AA, and it's a complete focus on independent games, which is great, you know, but there's so much more that PC gaming offers, and I just feel like there could be so much more that they could also talk about. Genres. I mean, indie's not in itself a genre, but you guys know what I'm saying. So yeah, it's pretty much, again, my least favorite showcase this year. I enjoyed the Future Game Show more than this. I enjoyed the Summer Games Fest more than this. And my criticisms are similar to last year. I mean, it was a bit better than last year. It didn't feel as bloated, but it was still bloated. You know, just go from game to game, change the structure of it, and you have high-profile AAA games also coming to PC, as well as AA games. You have those coming to PC. So you can easily show those games as well. You know, it doesn't have to be purely based on the independent scene, which is great. You know, you want to give those games a platform. In fact, you can focus most of your show on that if you really, really want to. But, you know, I mean, there's so much more here that just could be on offer and shown. Preservation wise, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just repeating myself at this point. Now we're seeing what Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 used to look like, and that's going to depress me. I hope that game comes out, and despite it being completely different, it looks like what who's working on the new Bloodlines 2? Some other studios working on it, because these guys got something happened or they got the game, like created differences. I don't know. It just seems like another Prey 2 situation where like you had a developer who had a vision, someone got pissy, and then they threw these guys out, and now they have someone else doing a completely different game. This is just going to depress me, because I was really looking forward to this game. But this is another thing that they could have easily shown. Chinese Room is working on the current version of Bloodlines 2. Yeah. And wait, we just saw they just had a game that they were showing as well. Prey 2 and Prey 2017 are different games. Yeah. No, I know that, but I'm saying that it feels like an almost similar situation to what is happening here with Bloodlines 2. You know, where it's like Chinese Room is creating almost a different game, because from what I understand, they completely threw away everything that was in development from, who's the developer here? Is it Paradox or is it Hard Suit Labs? Whoever were the original devs behind doing this game, it looks like they've thrown it completely away, and they're doing their own thing now, which is completely different and maybe even separate from the first Bloodlines. I'm not so emotionally invested into that because I didn't play the first Bloodlines. I'm not a fan of this franchise, but it looked interesting to me in that it looked like a Deus Ex style game, and I really like that genre. And so I was really looking forward to a game similar in gameplay to that, especially because Deus Ex is basically MIA and almost dead at this point, which fucking pisses me off. But to have a game similar to that within this type of world and style looked really interesting. But no, it's not. Bloodlines 2 is being made from the ground up. Prey 2017 was supposed to be called Typhon, and it was a parallel to Prey 2. Okay. Well, I know that Arcane did their own. I mean, Arcane made a great game. Is it a great Prey game? I don't know. I mean, I've played the first Prey, and it's completely different. But I think Arcane made a great game. I just wish we really got the original Prey 2. I still wish that we got the original Prey 2. Yeah, we have Ubisoft. We have Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're probably going to show more of the crew. I'm trying to think what else, you know. Oh, the Splinter Cell remake. They better show that. The Splinter Cell remake. I'm excited for that. And honestly, I'd much rather take a remake than them trying to create a new game and trying to put the Assassin's Creed formula in a Splinter Cell game, which I feel kind of ruined the Ghost Recon projects. Although I liked Ghost Recon Wildlands. Breakpoint was just... But I played it back on launch. I've heard it's been fixed. It wasn't a project that started from the ground up and picked by others. It was two different games from the beginning. First game got canceled. The second got its name because of publisher BS. No, yeah, okay. Then, well, again, isn't that kind of similar? My laptop just died. Hold on, I lost the chat. With Bloodlines 2, I guess it's not similar because it's not like Chinese Room was working on a game like this already, but I was just making the point that the Bloodlines 2 that is in development right now looks to be completely different and disconnected from what these guys were doing. But that's based on what I've seen. Come on, I need to get the chat back up. Hold on. There we go. All right. I know Capcom's not doing another showcase. I think next year's supposed to be the 20th anniversary, or is it the year after? I think it's 2026 is the 20th anniversary of Resident Evil. And so people are saying that there's going to be more remakes, which I'm fine with. Capcom's been doing a really good job with that. So, and also I haven't played those games, so it's kind of nice to see a new modern take on those. And from what I understand, they're pretty good representations of the core what those games were supposed to offer in the beginning. It was kind of the case with Dead Island 2. Oh yeah, that's another one. because Dan Buster was making an unnamed zombie game before publisher saw it and offered them the IP. Okay. At least with Dead Island 2, it turned out to be a really good game. I enjoyed Dead Island 2. And I did not enjoy the original Dead Island. I thought it was very clunky and just glitchy, and you know, I think they really screwed themselves because they had that super emotional trailer in the very beginning, and the game like never it just never represented the full game. So but I thought, you know, Dead Island 2 I was really surprised by. It was a solid game. I think I called it the sleeper hit of that year when it came out. Yeah, feel free, message me on X, I guess. That's fine, you know. I can't promise you I'll take a look at every single game, but I'll definitely, you know, take a look, and if there's one I find, I'll let you know and add it to my wish list. Even the definitive edition was very clunky and painful at times. Yeah, well, I was playing it on 360, Xbox 360, and it was a combination of the frame rate, the glitches, the loading times, the jank, all that stuff. Dead Island 2 is just so much smoother and just plays. It's just they did a great job with that game. But yeah, I remember that was another game that was stuck in development hell. You know, and I guess as you said, it became a completely different game, but probably for the best, because Dan Buster did the Homefront reboot, which I enjoyed the gameplay elements that they were trying to bring, but you know, it was another game that had a lot of jank, you know, combined with frame rate issues. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I won't keep you guys for too much longer here. This show, again, kind of a bloated, I don't want to call it a mess, but you know, it's near a mess. You know, I think that they had some really interesting indie games there, some really interesting stuff, some stuffs that even I would kind of look into and maybe even try out. But there seems to be a huge missing element in that there's a big, you know, space of games in the AAA and AA department that are PC centric or have really, you know, great PC game ports, versions, whatever you want to call them. And they don't seem to want to focus on those here. You know, I feel like the PC gaming show should be about, here are the exclusive best versions of the games that are coming out. Here's all these developers from all these different spaces coming together to explain to you why the PC version is going to be the best version and why you're going to want to buy it, and all the technology and stuff we're bringing to the table. You know, Assassin's Creed's a big one from Ubisoft. You know, it's going to have a PC release. They could have shown that. And we got again, we got games like Stalker 2, which are PC centric games from the beginning. Black Myth Wukong is another PC centric game. Like, there's opportunities there, and I just feel like they're just, you know, turning the other cheek, looking away, and just being like, yeah, you know, that's I don't know, maybe it's a thing, an issue with booking, an issue with money. I don't know what it is, but it just seems to me like these shows have gotten longer, but the presentation and the quality of games being shown has just become, you know, very I don't know, it's like strict. Like, there's been very one-dimensional, I guess. I think it's good to see different games, AAA games. Yes, a lot of them we need more. Yeah, and I know the AAA space is going through a tough time right now, but I'm just saying for variety's sake, especially when you look at those previous years, you know? You look at those previous presentations, and they had everything. You had the AAA games, you had the AA projects, you had the indie projects. And yeah, it was less than what we saw here, but arguably it was more enjoyable, it was paced better, and it was more of stuff that people wanted to see, I guess. And even if you want to do, like, you know, a 2 to 3 hour presentation, you can just do like an after show and just have the developers on talking about their games, and have that be dedicated strictly or mostly to indie projects. I think that would be better. Have your main presentation for like an hour showing all these different games, and then the after show is interviews with these creative people talking about, you know, their games and showing gameplay in the background, something like that. where it's like a 2-part thing. Anyway, all right, that was the PC Gaming Show. That is it for today's streams. We have one more conference tomorrow, which is Ubisoft. I hope they do well, but I really don't know. The only thing I can think of that I really want to see is the Splinter Cell remake. Hopefully we'll get some type of information on that. But other than that, you know, I'm trying to think what else Ubisoft really has right now. Oh, they have the Star Wars game, but that's coming out. So it's Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, and Splinter Cell. That's about all I can think of right now from the Ubisoft lineup. Anyway. All right, I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. All of you have just been amazing, and no, I super appreciate you guys joining me for the stream and putting up with my opinionated comments. So, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you all so much for watching, and